You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing your firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragecheck.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, we're just what the country needs.
These deals are working hard to save you money. From August 28th through September 3rd, save 15% off Balin stock tanks, $200 off Black Diamond log splitters, and find big discounts on shoes for the family.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, we're just what the country needs.
Make the most of your Labor Day weekend with Coastal.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4166. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you are the Men's Room. What's up today? It is a random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: delicious soda and the NFL. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, the Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
All right, here we go. A teacher quits her job and becomes a Hooters girl, then makes $1,000 in just 2 days. Meanwhile, a Florida man is arrested again, and the number of times will truly amaze. Homeowners are upset that their house won't be pelted by balls. A 5-year-old gets behind the wheel of a Lamborghini and then truly hauls. And a Navy sergeant asks a private, "Son, is that your penis?" That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, this is obviously a talk show. We talk to you, we talk to each other, then I go home, talk to my wife, I talk to my kids. But even when everyone goes to bed, I'm still talking. You see, like a lot of you lunatics out there, I find myself talking to my pets or the TV or the houseplants or pretty much anything that I feel, I need to share my opinion with. That said, my most caustic and negative conversations, if you can call it that, are with my computer. Slow internet, buffering, those stupid pop-up ads that wipe out your entire screen, all those mundane annoyances. Yeah, they typically lead me to cuss at the computer with a lot of regularity. But that's because I don't have Siri or Alexa. According to a new poll, 2 out of 5 people, or just around 40% of people, think that being rude to AI might backfire someday. The belief here is that our past behavior towards AI will be taken into account sometime in the future. Yeah, who knows? But in the meantime, 44% of people, they say they're polite to their AI, saying things like please and even thank you. Maybe do that with people too. I don't know. We seem to do it with animals. In fact, a Nevada woman, she was pleasantly surprised when she activated her pet cam and found a maintenance man in her apartment having a full conversation with her cat. That's probably the best case scenario. Look, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and here's how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the Random Question, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association. It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragecheck.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Better health isn't always about the big things. Sometimes it's a nudge from a friend, or a head nod from a fellow jogger, or even a smile from across the breakfast table when you've decided to pass on the bacon. It's the little things that lead to better health, and Regence is here as a partner, opening doors to the care you need, no matter the size, because it all adds up to something big, a healthier you. Regence Blue Shield. Together we health.
On. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Patrols, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4166. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Exciting return if your guess is as good as mine. Oh, the categories. As we are only, 2 weeks away from the start of the NFL season?
More or less, yeah, a week and a half.
All right, believe it or not, we have the final preseason NFL power ratings from our friends at NFL Spin Zone. I don't know if this is definitely not the official NFL ratings, depending on who you believe to be the official rating supplier. But either way, these are supposed to be the top 10 best teams in the NFL this year.
And we haven't played a down yet. Okay.
It's kind of hard to predict. As we know, the preseason shortened down to 3 games, so the strategy was a little bit different on playing starters. But, you got a pretty good idea going in, knowing where your key players are, that they will be out on the field, and the teams that seem to have the best potential to be winners year in and year out, and some new teams popping into the top 10. Some other teams that traditionally are pretty good, they have left the top 20. So it depends on who your team is. But either way, these are supposedly the top 10 best teams in the NFL for the upcoming 2024 season. Our other category, We have the 10 best soft drinks in America.
Soft drinks. So not just soda, but soft drinks.
Sodas, soft drinks, all those things.
I mean, would that include like lemonade or something like that?
No.
Okay.
It's got to be carbonated. It's got to be
Okay. All right.
got to be delicious and in a can or a bottle, whatever, however you like your
Delicious
soda.
and in a can.
Yeah, but
All right.
I like canned better. I feel like the carbonation level's better. If it's not in a glass bottle, I prefer the can version of my soda.
Can.
So we have the top 10 sodas of all time. Oh, what else do we have for you today? We have some updated locations on the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Good news. We found out that if you're headed down to one of the 2 Metallica shows, the beer will be available in the big, bright yellow can.
Yes.
Nice.
For your enjoyment. So
Yeah, the 16 ounces, my friends.
I think it's bigger than that.
I'm pretty sure this is the 16 ounces.
Oh, this is the 16 ounce.
I
I know they have a
believe that
19
it's good.
ounce or
Yeah.
a 16. I don't know. It's
Either
just-
way, it's more than 12.
It's there. Then you can buy a can of it.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Bigger than the normal beer. So hopefully, if you're headed down to Metallica, we're going to be down there on Friday afternoon when we get out of the
Friday evening.
Get out of the office there. We'll head on down, and hopefully, we'll see you down there. We can get a beer together. So we'll have some updated locations. Incidentally, we had a little Men's Room World Tour stop on Saturday evening at Mike's Chili Parlor. Want to thank those guys for busting their ass
And slapping our ass.
It did not seem like anybody had to wait around for a beer very often or a drink. The food was coming out. We had the men's room beer brats.
Did you have a brat?
Sausage. No, I didn't have time. I was talking to people the entire time.
But you got to try one of these things.
I know
man.
that.
We
I
say
know
this
that.
every time. And people were taking bets last week about whether or not you'd actually get a bra. I should have got in on that action.
Well, on 7:45, I thought around 7 o'clock, when the game was about to kick off, that's going to be my time to get a brat.
Sure.
And then I kept talking to people. And about 7:30, I'm like, I don't need another one. And then at 7:45 or somewhere around there, like, I got to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's time for me to get my ass home. So I did not get my opportunity to get. That means I had a wonderful time.
Oh, I had a very good time.
And thanks for the lovely ladies from San Juan Salsa Company for stopping by, giving everyone samples of the chips and the salsa.
Very kind. It's funny.
Those guys are awesome. But again, thanks to Mike. That was a great event. It was good to see so many of you that stopped by. Seahawks looked pretty good as well. So it was. It
was a fun night.
It was a good. It was a good night altogether. So hopefully we'll have another stop on the Men's Room World Tour to bring you shortly. But either way, that was that was just a great afternoon of hanging out.
It was, man. It was the right kind of afternoon.
It really was. I mean, look, we got a nice day yesterday, so at least we could go outside on a Sunday and everything.
Sure.
I was kind of happy that it was just one of those days where let's just go inside, eat some chili, drink some beer, and hang out.
Yeah.
So that was a good time. And today is the day that we do our random question. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
Chris, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see what we got for you, Chris. Okay. All right, Chris. Why were you in the most trouble growing up as a kid? What was the one time you knew, oh man, I have really taken it to a different level and this is not going to be fun?
I know of time when I should have been in the most trouble, but really didn't get into too much trouble at all.
Okay.
And it was my 18th birthday, and I didn't have a driver's license, and everybody was at my house, and one of my friends had to leave, but another friend's car was blocking his to get out of my driveway. And I asked that friend, I said, hey, would you let me back up your car? And he said, yeah, but the problem was it was his parents' Chevy Suburban, and I backed that Suburban up into somebody else's car that was parked across the street.
So had you never even attempted to drive a car before?
Yeah, I had. Before it was like an 88 Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
Have you ever driven anything small? My God, Coupe de Ville, the Suburban.
At that point, no.
So,
who took the blame?
How did
Who
you
took the
not,
blame
yeah,
for the
How
car?
did you not get in trouble for this?
The fact that the car was parked, so there was no police report. And my mom knew that I punished myself enough, just beating myself up, mentally.
Did you really, or did your mom just believe that you were?
No, I was not in a good mood after that at all. Like I was really pissed at myself.
Yeah, I wish I had tried that as a kid. Maybe gotten out of more trouble. Like, nah, man, I'm so upset about what I've done. I don't think my parents would have cared one way or another.
Yeah,
or they'd have known I'm lying.
All right. Well, man, I've wrecked a car I wrecked one car when I was a teenager, and it was on that tip of, and my stepfather just gave me this was his baby. He just got a new car, but he had kept that thing cherry. It was in immaculate condition. He put new tires on it, changed all the things before he gave it to me, in his words, road safe, even though that car was perfect all the time. Right. Did all those things, and I wrecked it, and I could just see just how sad and disappointment he was looking at his car. And I felt terrible about it because that was my car, and I wrecked it, and I totaled it. Basically, there was no point in fixing it based on the amount of damage and the value of the car. But man, I'll tell you what, that sucked. That was the first car that I ever owned, and I probably didn't have it for more than 2 to 3 weeks. And parents have to do the standard. I'm just glad you're okay.
You're okay.
I'm glad that you're not hurt. I'm glad that the other people who were involved in the accident weren't hurt, and all those things. But ultimately, it's just disappointment. Complete disappointment on everybody's end.
I never wrecked my parents' car. We did use it in the commission of a crime, a felony at that. The good news is it was a Dodge Omni, so it's just kind of the other car they had. Yeah. But it was the car we used to kidnap the guy off the street. So oddly enough, the most trouble I've gotten in was for the party that I threw at my house. That was the same night as the kidnapping, and I was just telling this to someone on Saturday that asked me about it, and I said, "Look, I caught a lot of heat for this party, as well I should have. It was bad. My parents were screaming at me, yelling at me, and it turns out no matter how well you think you've cleaned up, your parents keep discovering things, which sucks because their mood never goes down, right? Just when they're about to get over it, they find something else that says, okay, this party was much bigger and worse than we thought. So they stayed mad, but that whole time, all I could think is, but you don't know that I kidnapped someone. So even though this sucks, like this is bad, and I got in a lot of trouble, and I think I had like a month worth of being grounded and all this, but you don't know that we used your car to kidnap someone and throw them in the closet. So my thought was, you know what? Just take your licks because this could be so much worse. Because part of me wanted to say, as I'm just getting reamed, part of me wanted to say, like, hey, guys, listen, calm down. This is not the worst of it. Me and Leon also kidnapped somebody. Right? Because then they would have shut up about the house, but I thought better of it and said, just take the heat on the house, man.
Reason we asked, why were you in trouble there growing up? A TV news helicopter and their crew spotted a boy who'd been reported missing, but was actually up on the roof of his New York City building playing hooky. The 9-year-old boy left his Brooklyn apartment bright and early 7 a.m. on Thursday, but did not show up at school. According to CBS News, the boy's parents called police, who put out a description of the missing child, including the orange tie that he was wearing, which tells me he goes to private school.
Or he's just real fancy.
The CBS station sent a helicopter to the scene, and reporter Dan Rice then spotted a youngster on the rooftop of his family's building.
How's he skipping school already? Is it like the first day?
I mean, you're 9.
9 years old. As my pilot, Eric Ross, and I were circling around the building, we came across a person sitting in a chair over there on the rooftop. We zoomed in with a camera. It appeared to be the child that fit the description of the missing child. Station employees then called police, and the helicopter crew hovered overhead until they arrived. He just packs up his computer into his book bag and puts it on his back, and then is escorted off the roof with police officers. Rice added that the officers gave the chopper a big thumbs up as they took the boy down the stairwell. Now, you can play hooky, that's one thing. But to actually have police respond, I guess a missing child report.
Because he didn't make it to school at all.
A missing child report takes it to that level.
Especially at the age of 9.
You're just playing hooky as a kid, and the next thing you know, you've got cops escorting you out of your own building where your family lives.
Did your school, if you cut school, we had an automated thing where it just automatically called your house to say your child was not in school today. And if you were aware of that, parents didn't care. Obviously, if you cut school, they're pissed off. The thing about it was, me and a lot of buddies, we cut school, well, a lot. And but we knew 7:35 was the time that this thing called.
Oh, yeah.
So I would get home, they say, how was school? I'd lie, say it was fine. If I ever said it was fine, I was not at school. If I come home and I said today sucked, then I was at school. I don't know how they never be. If I said I had a good day, I was lying. I hated school. But 7:35, that phone would ring. I'm a teenager at that time. They fully expected me to answer it. I'd pick it up. Your child was not at school today. Your child, Stephen Hill, did not show up. All my parents here is, yeah, I'll tell you what, man, let me give you a call back in like 50 minutes. All right, Tony, see you, man. Click. My mom's always like, boy, he's consistent. That boy calls at the same time every day. I'm like, I think it's just when he does dinner, and, then when he's done, he calls here.
That's wild they'd call in the evening.
7:35. Right. It was never during the day.
So I feel like, I feel like those automated calls always go during the day, so you really catch people.
Oh, dude, the thing with schools now, I don't know if it's every school, but my kid's school, I don't know. If a student sneezes and a piece of snot hits the back of the neck of another student, I will get an email to, there's been an incident at the school. And then when you read through it, you're like, it's K through 8. These aren't incidents. This is what kids do.
Yeah.
It's fine. Little Billy cut his knee on the playground today. Well, Billy's a klutz. And it's fine. And when Billy was done crying, he's back. Like, why do you tell us every freaking thing, man?
Here was the one that I was 4th grade, 3rd grade year, somewhere in there. But my mom or my stepfather gave me $5 to pay for lunch for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks?
So they would send you like a bill. It was $2.50 a week for hot lunch, and then you had to pay that every week. Or eventually they would tell you they weren't going to feed you, but they would anyway. And we knew that. We knew that you could go because I had forgotten to pay a couple times. At one point in time, I was like 4 weeks behind, and my mom was pretty mad at me for not.
What are you doing with the money?
So I
that's the issue.
Yeah, I don't. I just know this. My buddy Kurt, he said we were at lunch, and he said, "Look," he said, "before we go to lunch, there's a Dairy Mart about 5 blocks down the street. A Dairy Mart was a little convenience store like a Wawa or a Sheetz or a 7-Eleven. Well." New baseball cards were out. All these things were going on. They had a Slurpee machine in there. That was like the first time that we had a Slurpee machine.
Yeah.
But I got $5, and Kurt says, "Hey, they're still gonna serve us lunch. Why don't we walk down there and we'll buy whatever we want? Snakes, Slurpees, snacks, candies, whatever. Right?
Yeah. Maybe a snake.
We're gonna load up." So we did, but we didn't realize the time. And by the time we got there. And we were eating our Slurpee on the way back. And we didn't want to walk in with a Slurpee, so we're kind of like stuffing all our stuff in our backpack so we could keep. But like the Slurpee, that had to be dragged. So we were taking our time. So we ended up being like 45 minutes late to class. And keep in mind, in middle school, it's the same teacher.
Right.
You're not going from classroom to classroom. We just had one teacher who taught the entire curriculum. So when we walked in late, where were you guys? So we were hemming and hawing in the hallway. Hell of that. They take us down to the principal's
Did
office.
you tell them where you went, or did you guys just try to keep trying to come up with something?
I mean, like, Kurt had a blue ring around his lip. I had a red ring around. I mean, like, this is just stupid. To try to pull nothing.
Right.
But they took us to the principal's office. The principal, the first thing he does, he tries to call Kurt's parents. He calls Kurt's home, and his mom is there because his mom is a stay-at-home mom. This is not a bad situation, all right? So she comes. She is not excited, but she had to pick him up. We were both done for the day, so to speak.
Okay.
We were told to go home.
Well, that's a deal.
It was a deal, except for the fact that when they called my home, both my parents worked. Now, the worst thing that you could do is know for a fact that the principal is going to call your parents' place of employment.
I've said this to my children multiple times, like, look, if you call me when I'm at work, it means, typically, you're in a massive amount of trouble, and it is smart of you to let me know before I get home.
Right.
But if your school calls me at work, and it's not coming from you, you do not want me to come home. You might want to cut the brakes on the car. You don't want me getting home.
So, I got it much worse than Kurt, because when my stepfather showed up, he's in a suit and tie.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time for this crap. Like, they could not get a hold of my mom. Because please just call my mom at work first.
I know that guy. You call my mom. My mom. Call my mom.
I heard the receptionist answer the phone. They could not find my mom. I think she was on her lunch break at the time.
Right.
So they called my stepfather, and then he shows up. And I mean, it was just the most quiet, awkward ride back to his office because he did not want me going home by myself.
Sure.
So I basically just sat.
You ruined his day.
I sat in an empty room where he worked and just sat there and did homework. But I mean,
did he work until 5, standard 5:30, whatever?
Whatever he worked till. I mean, we got out of school like 3 or something.
But you got sent home at what, say 12, 15?
Correct, somewhere in there. So, but I went to his office.
Did he even talk to you when you were?
No.
Did he just give you the stink eye?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the power move.
Everyone who knew me there, who was normally nice to me, was asking me why I was there. Oh, no. And I told them, and then they kind of just were like, well, just to appease my stepfather, we're not going to sit here and talk to you and chat it up and be all friendly to you this time. Like you,
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. You need to be punished. So I can't remember what the grounding was after that, but it was. I got in trouble at the school. The afternoon suspension was not the worst thing in the world. It was just the fact that you don't call your parents at work.
Do not do it,
Don't
man.
have the school people call your parents. That's the worst thing you can do. And lesson learned, I never did anything that dumb again, where that phone call had to be made. I did dumb stuff, but not to the level of we're calling your parents at work.
The only time I was physically present when I was in high school at this point, and I did not have the most illustrious career, but they called my mother, okay? And so I hear, like, basically my teacher saying, hey, this is Miss So-and-so from the school. And I can hear my mother say, what did he do? He came in second place in the citywide, whatever. It was a positive thing, but it was the first words out of her mouth. Just what did he do? So I remember when I got home that day, I kind of had my arms folded, and I'm like, that's your response? And my mother looked at me like, do you know you? She goes, yeah, it's my goddamn response. They've never called me to tell me anything positive about you ever.
And then, the more I talked to them, I just dug a hole. Well, why did you guys go down to the Dairy Mart? Well, because we wanted to get Slurpees and some candy and all that stuff. Where'd you get the money to get Slurpees? Candy.
You handed it to me?
It was my lunch money.
Yeah, right.
That was the lunch money that you owed for the last 2 weeks, right? Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Stop talking. More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Well, we got a minute. I'm going to buy that truck I've been wanting.
Wait, don't you need weeks to shop for a car?
I don't. Carvana makes it super convenient to find exactly what I want.
Hold up. You're buying a car on your phone? Isn't that more of a laptop thing?
You can shop wherever you want.
I like to do my research, read reviews, compare models. Plus, Carvana has thousands of options. How'd you decide on that truck?
Because I like it.
Oh, that is a great reason.
Go to Carvana.com to sell your car the convenient way.
All right, parents, it's back to school time, and I've got a secret for you. There's a drama-free way to make vitamins part of your kids' morning routine. Lil Critters Gummy Vitamins. You see, my kids think they're just eating fun, delicious gummy bears, but little do they know, they're getting essential nutrients for their health and development.
Mom, we know they're vitamins.
As I was saying, kids absolutely love, and apparently know, these are vitamins. Lil Critters is the pediatrician-recommended kids multivitamin gummy brand, and the yummy way to start the school year.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
KISW proudly presents the first ever Halloween Hullabaloo starring Godsmack and Hailstorm. That's going down Sunday, October the 13th at the Showwear Center in Kent. We hope to see you there. Listen, originally ticket prices, I believe they're in the $45 area.
All right.
Right now, they've got a 4-pack of tickets for $99.90.
Bam!
Yes,
All right.
if you go to KISW.com, you click on the Halloween Hullabaloo, you'll see a link to the Showwear Center and where you can buy tickets. That is where you can purchase your 4 tickets, and these tickets are almost sold out.
Yeah.
For $99. So if you're planning on going to the show, you got some friends who want to go, head to KISW.com right now and get that taken care of. It's going to be a great night. Okay, there's our random question. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Amy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. Amy, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. Amy, what would you say? What food do you enjoy that no one else seems to appreciate as much as you do?
Wow. Probably something I'm cooking right now, which is edamame, but I kind of eat it weird. I eat it with pine nuts and garlic dressing.
What? All right.
So nobody I know seems to like it.
That just edamame in general?
Yeah.
My wife
I love it, and nobody
loves
seems
it.
to. Oh, I love it, but I mean, I guess I don't really have too many weird taste buds, but yeah, that's one that I get them to try it, and nobody ever wants to try it.
Look, I'm not a big fan of edamame, But my wife absolutely loves. In fact, Amy, you'll appreciate this. She actually got edamame for herself today.
Yeah, I'm
literally
cooking some
today.
right now.
Yeah, so you actually cook it at home and make it.
Yeah.
And you said with
Yeah, my
pine
son
nuts?
hates it because he says it smells weird. But I put pine nuts in there, like chopped up carrots, and then some Parmesan cheese and some garlic dressing. I eat it like a cold salad.
I don't mind
All
a
right.
cold salad. I really don't. Like,
I would mind that one.
There's like a French green bean cut cold salad. If you've ever been to, and they'll do it with like a sesame oil.
All right,
and a couple other things. Same thing with the seaweed salad.
Seaweed salad, I don't mind. You
Same
eat
tip.
seaweed salad there, Amy?
Yeah, I do like seaweed salad. My boyfriend really does too.
All right,
It's weird. I do not like salad, but I will eat seaweed salad. I can't explain it.
I will eat it when I'm out, but I would never, for whatever reason, I am not that good with a wok. I cannot make it taste nearly as good as a Thai restaurant or a Chinese restaurant.
Sure.
So, I mean, I can do a basic stir fry, but it's still it's okay. Trader Joe's got a good frozen chicken.
Just buy their
stir
stuff
fry.
and heat it
I'll make
up.
that.
I'm telling you.
That's not bad, but I'm not gonna start with the base ingredients and see if I can pull off.
No, and I mean, I'll try to knock out some stir fry at home. We get pretty good at fried rice at home, but it's still never as good as getting it from somewhere else.
I can't
Ever.
make regular white rice as good as just. I will go pick up if I'm doing a
Get
stir
the
fry.
3-minute bag, bro.
I do have the
Spend a
90-second
life
bag.
change.
But
90 seconds.
Well,
Look
I
at you.
don't get
Yeah.
the family size. I get the individual.
That's probably the difference.
The individual portion.
So we
Are
gotta
you
wait.
microwaving it?
Oh yeah.
I think that 3-minute bags, you just still boil in the water, right?
Yes.
Oh,
you
you
boil
okay.
the water,
All right.
but you just drop the bag in there, man. Because you would think rice should, in theory, be the easiest thing to make, and everyone I know F's it up, all myself included.
I'll believe it or not, it seems a little bit bizarre, but believe it or not, the British are known to try some interesting foods at times. And they say move over pepperoni or ham and pineapple pizza. Brits in droves are now moving toward bizarre and unusual toppings on their pizza. They're taking the pizza with thousands slathering their crust in pork pies, a full English and even jam. Other strange toppings include beef Wellington, which seems to me like that would be just fine on its own.
I mean, it is. It's a standard of the Sunday night roast.
Keep in mind, this is all on pizza, fish and chips, Cornish
How are you going to
pasties.
put beef Wellington on pizza?
Slice
That's
it
why we
real
just
thin, maybe?
eat it.
I don't know. Scotch eggs, chicken tikka, steak and kidney, and a roast dinner, also named as top flavors. A survey by the Pizza Company found 24% wanted the full context of an English breakfast on their pizza.
So what, beans, mushy peas?
Bangers?
No, there's not peas.
Is it not the peas?
It's eggs,
tomato slices?
bangers, right? A couple rashers, couple tomato slices,
Beans?
some mushrooms. I think the beans are on there, and then a couple black puddings.
Wow.
If you're in South Wales, you wanted a Cornish pasty on top. While in Yorkshire, 14% would add pork pies to the top of their pizza. Others shunned the flavors and said they wanted sweet pizzas, with 8% saying jam would be their top choice.
I mean, I guess it depends what else you put on there.
I mean, is that kind of like a crepe, essentially?
But it's all about the dough, you know? Like, we did a dessert pizza at one of the places I worked, but the pizza dough, quote unquote, was puff pastry, so it changes everything about it.
The pizza company is one of the major chains there, and they say, hey, look, man, we're always going to sell a big cheese or a pepperoni pizza. That's always going to be the favorites, but customers are asking for new things with adventurous flavors, which is why we like to offer customers something fun and different with our special guest pizza range. English breakfast, steak, and kidney pie pizza might not be for everything. We always like to listen to the customer and incorporate new ideas into our range. I will say this, I'm pretty standard on the pizzas that I buy. But if I ever go to a place that has individual slices, I will get the slice of what I want, pepperoni pizza. But then I'll get the slice of whatever their specialty pie is.
Yeah, I'll
there.
try something for a slice.
White sauce.
Yes.
Right, exactly. Just to see. And it's always great. It's always a great, not always,
Usually.
but more times than not, it's nothing that I would ever really order. But the slice of it, I'm like, this is pretty good. I understand why they make this.
Now, I will say this. Like I said, there's a reason you don't find a lot of English restaurants as they're not known for their culinary prowess. But most of the pizza toppings didn't sound that bad because it's still savory. All right. But this one comes out of Sweden. So it says if you thought pineapple-topped Hawaiian pizza was a culinary crime, wait until you hear about Sweden's take on the Italian staple. It is a pie topped with curry, pineapple, and banana. Sweden's fascination with bananas, they say, is well documented. I did not know this. But it doesn't really explain the culinary oddity known as the Tropicana pizza or simply the Swedish pizza. No one knows exactly who came up with the idea for this unusual pizza, but according to a 2017 tweet by the curators of Sweden, they created these by the Swedish Institute and Visit Sweden. The Tropicana pizza was already known as the most Swedish pizza there is. And they say for some reason, many Swedes find the combination of curry, pineapple, and banana paired with the smoky, savory flavor of smoked ham irresistible, making the banana top pizza one of the most popular in Sweden. Take a look at this bad boy.
Oh.
I mean,
it doesn't look bad.
It doesn't look bad.
When I think banana, I think more of a either breakfast or a dessert item.
I would definitely lean on the sweet side, like something you put on waffles, but not something on a pizza.
I mean, I do like pineapple, so I guess on my pizza, so I guess I'd try it.
I'd give it a try. Who knows? Maybe it's good.
What? Look, why don't you just use regular bacon with it? I mean, why do I need ham? I mean, I think it might be better with just regular crispy bacon.
I agree.
Well, you know what I've been doing, man? I stole from my niece is instead of Hawaiian pizza, I get pineapple and sausage.
Ooh, okay.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that tracks a little better in my mind. Hello, Julia. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola. Julia, welcome to the random question. Let's see what we got for
Thank you.
Yeah.
All
right, Julia, what have you left early or just walked out of? You're like, I don't like the vibe of this place. This movie sucks. This play sucks. The concert sucks.
Mm-hmm.
What sporting event? What have you walked out on early? Hello.
Pardon me?
Go ahead and come again. Your phone was doing a thing.
Is it dying out?
No, it's back.
Okay. Let me see. I guess it'd have to be a restaurant.
All right.
That I went to in Alaska that no, never mind. I don't like that story. Geez. Can I have another one?
Well, if you don't, that's okay.
Never walked out anywhere early.
I mean, look, hey, I'm that person. If I sit down someplace or it's 15 minutes in, especially if I sit down at the bar and it's not real busy and I don't get served, I typically will just go, you know what, let's just go someplace else. Because this
there's nothing wrong with that.
This might be a little bit more an adventure than I have time for tonight, or the patience for, so to speak.
Which is one and the same.
I have taken my children, trying to think what I took them to some kind of Disney thing, and they had an intermission. And when they turned on the lights, all of the vendors would come down through the aisles with their Mickey Mouse flashlights, balloons,
everything,
whatever product they were selling. And of course, you drop another $80. But the next one or the one after that we went to, they did not have that. So when the lights came on I think it was like Dora the Explorer. Right. So when the lights came on at the intermission, and my kids asked me if when they were going to be able to buy stuff, I said, "Oh, the show's over."
Yeah,
because I looked around, all the lights are on. People are standing up to go use the bathroom and
but they don't
get
know
concessions and all that stuff. My kids are not aware of this. They're not at that age to pick up on this. So, and it was probably an hour in already. And it might be it's an hour and a half show.
Yeah, dude,
they didn't miss
forever.
much.
All right.
But I did that switcheroo.
And they don't know.
I'm like, let's get out of the Baltimore Arena. It's summertime. The air conditioning's broken. It's hot.
Right.
I just want to get the hell out of here. So I have walked out of that before.
I walked out of my history class early. Senior year, we had a substitute teacher, and we were familiar with her. She'd been around, but I always remember she started every class letting you know what a badass she is. This is every time. Just a miserable old lady. But we all come into the class. Everyone sits down, and I can't remember her name. I'm Miss So-and-so. Some of you have had me before. This is how I do my class, blah, blah, blah. And if you got a problem with that, you can leave right now. So nobody left, and I'm like, I'm out of here, man. I remember I grabbed my bag, rolled out. It was the last class of the day. Then I remember I could hear her.
Did she ask, like, where are you going?
Yeah, she said, where are you going? I said, you said if you got a problem with it, to leave right now. That is exactly what I'm doing. And I rolled. And then I had her the next day, same thing, walk into class, we meet eyes. I'm like, I'm leaving again. So I didn't get in trouble about it until my actual history teacher came back, and it's one of those, Mr. Hill, you walked out of class twice early in 1 week. I said, well, I mean, she said, like, hey, if you have a problem with her, you can just get up and leave. So I left. I believe she's being facetious. I'm like, never know.
Yeah.
I left.
No. Why would she say it out loud?
If you say that, that's how I take it. If you're going to say it, then okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no skin off my nose.
I don't have to sit here for that. Reese, we asked, what have you
By the way, if
earlier?
my kid pulls that move, I'm going to kill him.
Or walked out on. A passenger was arrested in an Australian airport after he left a stationary airliner through the emergency exit. He walked along the wing, and then he jumped down a jet engine to the tarmac on Thursday. The Jetstar flight had arrived in Melbourne from Sydney and parked at a terminal gate when the man left the plane by the right exit side. He opened the exit door automatically, which was deployed, and then the slide deployed from the back of the wing at the fuselage to the ground. But he didn't wait for that, no. He just climbed out on the wing, then climbed on the engine, then jumped down onto the tarmac.
You have the opportunity to go down one of those slides that you activated yourself. You know you're going to get arrested, and you didn't do it.
Yeah, at that point, you might as well just go down the slide.
Hell yeah.
One of the passengers said that he screamed and shrieked as the man became erratic shortly before he opened the hatch. The man was exhibiting some quite strange behavior. As soon as the plane started coming to a stop, he immediately got up and charged to where the emergency exit row is. According to the Australian federal police officers, they were alerted and they arrested the man for alleged aggressive behavior and breaching aircraft safety protocols. He was assessed by paramedics, taken to a hospital where he still remains for further assessment.
Really?
I believe of the mental variety.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's wackadoo.
Police were continuing to investigate, and charges are likely to be laid out at a later date. The airport said the man was detained by aircrew and ground staff before the police even got there. But they said they are proud of the exceptional response from ground crew, which meant there was no immediate danger to other passengers or airport staff.
Damn. I got a couple of texts as far as leaving early. It says, we sat at the Bonnie Lake Denny's, waited an hour and 10 minutes for our food. We finally had to walk out. It's Denny's. Is that what sort of, you're making eggs or sandwiches? Someone else says, I walked out of the Smash Mouth concert at the Washington State Fair. Such a depressing show. We could have told you that before you
What
went.
about that? Was that with the old lead singer or the original lead singer? I'm sorry.
Did they replace the singer?
They did, yeah. He is passed on.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a reason
They played
to do
down
it.
at University Place the beginning of the summer. They had like a huge outdoor concert.
This summer?
All right. I believe so. Either
Really?
this year, it seems like it was. You know how time flies on me.
It's something weird to me, though. Like,
but it was like Smash
I wouldn't
Mouth.
want to see Smash Mouth anyway. But if you said, man, with a different lead singer, I'm like, that somehow it's even less appealing.
Well, the original lead
the guy
singer
died, but still.
But I believe up until that point, he was not keeping it together very well on stage.
He was like losing it on the bandmates on stage.
Now, see, that's the show I'd want to see if I had to see Smash Mouth. Like, I need to see one where it becomes a train wreck.
Typically, they're happy tunes, so
they do a little bit upbeat.
Anything less than that, you're like, okay, I didn't expect that.
Random.
Hello, Andy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Andy, welcome to the program. And random question. All right, Andy, let's go with this one. What movie or TV show do you refuse to watch and why? What movie or TV show you're like, nope, not doing it?
Like, Ted, you're on the Star Wars train, right? Like, just not doing it.
Just never watched it. Probably not going to.
There's two of them. I will never see E.T., and I will never see the new Titanic.
Why will you not see E.T.?
It was so popular when that movie came out, it can't be that good, and I just don't care.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not sure that you're right about it being that good. I don't, it was a novel concept, an idea, and I liked the movie growing up. I know it was long.
I don't know how long. We tried to watch it with the kids a few years ago. My wife and I had this big and romantic idea of let's show the kids the classics. Goonies, they were cool with. E.T., you don't realize how slow the pacing is for movies
Correct.
back then.
Yep.
I mean, like 20 minutes in, we know what's going to happen, but 20 minutes in, my kids are like, we're out. We're out.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Oh, the worst one of that genre in that time, though, without question, hands down, it's either the first Star Trek movie or Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Both of those movies I thought were just like, nah.
The Star Trek one was real.
Not the Wrath of Khan.
No.
The first one.
The first one.
The first one.
And why do you not want to see Titanic? One, I would tell you, don't. You already know how it ends, and it's a long love story.
I know what happens. I don't really give two rat's asses about either one of the starring actors. And I've seen the movie they made the first time. Why see it again?
Okay.
You know, the only part of that movie that I truly thought was worth, I didn't realize it was just a big, long-ass love story. So I went and saw it in the theater, and I was pissed when I left. But when the boat breaks apart and they keep showing this guy ricochet off the propeller, that seriously, I mean, that was great. That was cool CGI, man. But that's the only part of the movie I liked was the carnage.
The one I can't watch at all is Frasier.
Can't watch Frasier?
Frasier. I will not. My wife used to watch it nonstop. There were some channels that would just have Frasier on almost seemingly all night long a few years back. And the deal is that, yes, we work in radio. Yes, we're in Seattle. Well, every single part of that show, for whatever reason, I would just pick apart. I could not sit there and I'm like, that is so far from not what we do. We do a talk show in Seattle.
Well,
So
sure.
does this
But
guy.
what show can you watch where you say, like, this
That's
it's not
all- that's
cop
okay,
shows.
WKRP
It is
in
not
Cincinnati.
fire department.
I know,
It is not
I know that.
detectives.
I
It
know.
is
I know that.
nothing.
But this
you know
is
what's
just
real?
me.
Cops.
This is
That's
just
the
me.
one time I could watch the show and be like, yeah, people are that stupid.
I've
and
been,
cops
to,
have to deal
I've
with
been to
it.
Lakewood. I know. For whatever reason, the Los Angeles skyline.
Sure.
With a needle supplanted in the middle of it. The fact that he's in a, what would be the equivalent of around a $3 million condo.
Oh, I think it'd be more than that.
Did you
Probably
ever
$4
watch it when it
million.
was originally out?
I mean, I couldn't tell you the difference between the early episodes and the later episodes.
No, not
So
that. But
just
when it was
running for
on, you didn't live in Seattle.
No, I didn't. I did not watch it then, but I started watching it later because my wife watched it all the time. So then I started watching it. I'm like, it's not even close to, like, news radio was a little closer to radio. WKRP was closer to radio at that time.
Sure.
When the show came out. To me, it's just like, okay, first of all, he just took a phone call without headphones on, which to me, you there's all these just stupid
See,
things.
stuff like that doesn't bug me, man.
I know,
Like,
I don't know why it
There's
bothered me.
nothing accurate.
I understand
on
that.
Even reality shows.
I get it.
Are full of crap. There's nothing on TV.
I don't know why
I
it
shrug
bothered
it
me
all
so
off.
much.
Like, it's all bull ass. Right? Like, if you're a kid now and you say, man, I want to be a doctor because that's what they did on Grey's Anatomy. Don't let that be your guiding force.
Doogie Howser is not going to be my surgeon. I understand these things. I'm just, for whatever reason, that was the one. The reason we asked what movie or TV show do you refuse to watch and why, Quentin Tarantino says he refuses to watch Toy Story 4 or Toy Story 5.
So the originals are okay.
Which is in the works as we speak.
Yes, the first three.
He says, quote, the third one is just magnificent. It is one of the best movies I've ever seen. And if you've seen the other two, it's just devastating. But the thing is, then 3 years later or something, they did a fourth. And I have no desire to see it. You literally ended the story as perfectly as you could. So no, I don't care if it's good. I'm done. Quentin thinks the best trilogy of all time, by the way, Clint Eastwood and the spaghetti westerns, Fistful of Dollars, for a few more dollars, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
He thinks that's the greatest trilogy of all time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he leans a lot on that Ennio Morricone
Yeah, obviously.
kind of soundtrack.
Still.
The way he edits his stuff. More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing your firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragecheck.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
This is NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association. It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragecheck.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
It is our random question. Question 206-803-ROCK.
Random. Hello, Matt, part one. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola. Matt, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. All right, who would you say, whether it's movies, TV, whatever, who would you say is your all-time favorite actor and actress? It's all an actor, but you get the idea.
Just from, sheer, skill, not necessarily as a person, because, it kind of seems like they might be hard to work with, but Christian Bale always kind of blows me away, from, one movie to the next. He played Dick Cheney in one movie, and then he plays, in the movie, Ford versus Ferrari, he plays, some mechanic. It's just,
Batman.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
No, that's a great call, man.
Yeah, and I think you're right on both sides.
Changing his appearance.
I've heard that he's difficult to work with because he's a super method actor, but to your point as well, great actor, man. Mm-hmm. He does not suck. Mm-hmm. And you might not like the movie, but it's not his fault.
Right.
Generally. I feel that way with Tom Hardy, too. Well, I don't know what it is about him. Rarely is he the main guy, but I always like his characters.
Tom Hardy's great.
Right, because I still haven't seen Venom. Or Venom 2, whichever one you told me to check out, Miles. You said it's so stupid, it's awesome.
I thought
I believe you. I
think it was Venom 1.
Was it the first one?
I just caught it one night on FX or whatever. I'm like, this is interesting. I started watching it, then I realized it's probably one of the more panned superhero movies ever.
Oh, yeah.
As far as people not liking it.
Tom Hardy's in Peaky Blinders as well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently him and Cillian Murphy work together a lot. They're both in Inception together.
As far as what you judge to be an actor, I never have, for the most part. Will Ferrell, normally, those movies stick with me. I just like him. And I think they're funny, so I like comedies. This doesn't really take into account comedic actors as much.
Because they never do.
But
they never do. When you sit to the Academy Awards and all that, they'll say best musical or comedy, and a lot of times the movies they nominate, there was a song in it, but it's not if you were comedic or you were action, you're not going to get any kind of love from the Academy, right?
Correct.
Basically, if you're super popular, The Rock is not going to win an Academy Award, and you can like him or hate him, but dude does all right for himself.
And Bradley Cooper, when he does dramas, he wins Academy Awards. When he does comedies,
he does not.
They're iconic.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
I mean, we always say this. A lot of actors kind of do the same. They're always kind of them, but I always thoroughly enjoy a Denzel Washington movie.
You know what? I like Denzel, and you're right. He's always him. And we always say Joe Pesci is always Joe Pesci. De Niro is always De Niro. Al Pacino, usually, every once in a while he'll branch out, but overwhelmingly you know exactly what you're going to get.
I mean, even Tom Cruise, right? Now I just kind of think about his,
Mission
Impossible
But
stuff.
does he do anything? I mean, I know he did the Maverick thing.
But Born on 4th of July is a powerful movie.
Taps.
You know what I mean?
Cocktail. If you're into
he's been in some serious roles that are great movies.
I think the best role he's done, and I don't say this to sound ridiculous, I honestly believe this, was Tropic Thunder. Mm-hmm. I did not realize it was him playing the agent. Yep. So when I watched that movie, I kept laughing because every time they showed the agent, I'm like, this is the best part of the movie to me, just based on the miscommunication that was going on. And then my wife goes, that was Tom Cruise. I'm like, it was not frickin' Tom Cruise. It was some old guy. So I sat there through the credits, and I'm like, I will be damned.
Yeah.
That is my favorite role of Tom Cruise.
Reason we asked who's your favorite actor of all time, the website Stat Significant. They tackled a dicey challenge, naming the greatest leading actor of all time. And the guy who wrote it, or was responsible for the study, Daniel Paris, acknowledges the absurdity of trying to quantify something so personal, human, and deeply subjective. But nonetheless, he decided to dig in.
When I was a kid, say Harrison Ford. That's my guy. He's Han Solo.
Yep.
He's Indiana Jones. Then he's a president. I'm like, this guy can't go wrong.
That's a great call. The ranking used 3 factors: online ratings of the actor's movie, box office success, and Oscar recognition, all of which have their strengths and weaknesses that are detailed. Now, when all is said and done, here are the top 10. And this is, for basically the history of Hollywood.
All right.
Coming in at number 10, Matt, you were right on it, Christian Bale. With a rating of 49.6. The lower the number, the better here, like golf. For whatever reason, that's just the way this works out.
He's not always in movies people want to see, but he is a good actor. By the way, someone here says Christian Bale was the worst Batman ever. Fair. All I said was, have you seen George Clooney? I will leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. See, I thought he was great as Batman.
Who, nipples?
No.
Christian Bale. I did too.
Because it kind of changed, Batman, it seems like every, 2 or 3 films, they kind of changed the approach into the Batman.
Right.
I thought his was great.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job.
With a rating of 45.6%, Dustin Hoffman comes in at number 9.
Okay.
Ted, you nailed Denzel Washington, 41 points. He comes in at number 8. This is all time, according to this guy. So you could go back to whoever.
Cary Grant.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of 7, Jack Lemmon at 38%.
Yeah.
Who was in a number of films before he did The Odd Couple and all those other ones that we know of.
It's one of those things where he was an old man when I was a kid. I only saw him as comedic. Same with Leslie Nielsen. Mm-hmm. My parents are like, this guy's been in all these movies. Leslie Nielsen was the one that blew my mind, right? So you see or Naked Gun, all this stuff. And
Airplane.
Right. And my mother, every time I saw him, I would just start giggling. And my mother goes, honest to God, he used to do dramas. I'm like, there's no way this guy did dramas. And she pulled up 3 or 4 movies. He was a serious actor.
No way.
You can't wrap your head around it because Leslie Nielsen means to us kind of just what he means. But yeah, he did dramatic roles.
I can kind of see it a little bit because his comedy is still It's very dry, very serious. He doesn't belong where he's at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can kind of see it, but I can't put serious behind it.
It's hard to do.
Whereas Tom Hanks is the opposite.
No shock. Tom Hanks, number 6, 37 points.
I think people would be shocked to know how many comedies he started out doing.
Joe versus the Volcano.
Bachelor Party.
Right. What great movie.
Money Pit.
Big.
Believe it or not,
Big,
Brad Pitt at number 5.
Really?
At 32 points.
What's the last couple of movies he's been the lead in? I feel like
was that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think he was.
But I feel like he's always a co-lead. Rarely is it just Brad.
Yeah.
It's it'll be him and McConaughey or something. But it's not, he's not the sales pitch. He's always seemed like he's teamed up with another A-lister.
His bit parts are great.
He's great. I think the smaller his roles, the better he does.
Like True Romance, where he just sits on a couch and smokes weed through a honey.
But more to your point, he's kind of like a professional co-star. You're right. That's
I'm just saying, almost every time I see him in a
Ocean's
big
11,
production,
9 million other people.
Right.
And I know he's starring in that new F1 movie that's coming out in a year.
Okay.
Which is going to flop, but yeah.
Oh, I think it'll be awesome.
I'm not saying the movie won't be good. I'm saying I think the movie flops. Even if it's a good movie, I don't think it's going to do well.
Jack Nicholson, 29 points, comes in 4th place. These are the best leading actors ever, based on this theory.
I love that you put me on this list.
What's the last thing he's done? Didn't he retire 25 years ago?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I think he just got to stop.
Anger management? Was that his last bit?
There may have been one more after that, but yeah.
Al Pacino plays himself in everything. 29 points, comes in at number 3.
Right, he plays the same character.
Every movie, man.
Paul Newman, number 2, 27%. The last Paul Newman movie I probably saw was The Color of Money, the remake.
That's probably
I can't think of it. After that, he just started doing salad dressings and all that stuff.
Lemonade.
Indecent Proposal.
Indecent Proposal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Slept with dude's wife.
For $1 million.
That's the synopsis of that movie, Mike, basically.
It was Paul Newman, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right.
Damn.
Right? Damn.
Oh, goddamn.
Redford. It was Robert Redford.
Sorry,
Redford.
Paul.
Robert Redford.
Newman.
Do not besmirch his name.
Yeah. Doing a Butch Cassidy mix up there. And Leonardo DiCaprio, number 1. He is the best leading actor ever. When it comes to the ratings of the movies, box office success, and Oscar recognition.
Yeah, because he's always trying to get the Oscar. That's the thing. He doesn't do any just throwaway movies. I feel like every movie that he's in is like, I'm trying to go for an Oscar.
Okay, well, to be fair, someone on the text line, and I believe this actor epitomizes what you're saying, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Like, he does what, like 6 movies every 20 years,
right,
but like, I'm only going to do it if it's quote-unquote Oscar-worthy.
Right, he never does an F-it movie.
Which kind of makes it kind of lame. Somebody here, and this is a good name, Sam Rockwell.
Oh, dude, he is absolutely fantastic.
Underrated until you see him. He does a good... A lot of his movies are bad. A lot of them are stupid, but his characters are always awesome.
When you can look at his character in, like, Green Mile versus a Galaxy Quest, like, the man's got range. He's very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Random.
Someone here says, really? There should be a top 10 list of the best supporting actors, because we all know who the leading actors are almost always. Well, yeah, that's why they're A-listers, man. That's what it comes down to. Hello, Matt, part 2. Welcome to the men's room.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hola! Matt, welcome to the program. Random question. Okay, Matt, last week we did a question about dogs. What dog do you know for a fact does not like you, or who else's pet, or whatever the deal is?
Or they don't like your pet.
Yeah, or whatever. This one is, what animal do you believe hates you? Based on your own personal experience.
My ex pulled up I think it was a red retriever she found at a Target parking lot, and that thing hated me from day one. We've been broke up for about 6 months now, and that thing peed on my foot, chewed my pants, pooped in my shoe. I mean, was this just bad behavior, or was that all just geared toward you and your scent, I guess? Or your being? I think it was my scent, because, I mean, it was a puppy, and that dog just hated me. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I petted it, I loved it, but yeah, that dog hated me for no reason.
What kind of retriever did you say it was?
It was like a red retriever or a mixed red retriever, something like that. Some druggie left it out in the Target parking lot in Lacey, so she brought it home because she's got a sweetheart, and yeah, she chewed up shoes and pooped in my shoes and peed on my leg, and yeah, it was a mess.
Okay.
That was direct, man.
Yeah, look, man. I've lived with animals that just did not like me either. I tried everything I could, but there was no getting, for whatever reason. You just never know if an animal's going to like you or not. Whether it's
you hope that the one that you bring into your home where you live,
the one you feed, and take care of.
Yeah, you think that one would like you.
Yeah. So the story was that her and her girlfriend went out to Target to go shopping, as they do, and there was a group of teenagers out there, and they had a litter of puppies. So one came home with us, or not with us, but came home to me, and one came home to the other friend, and I was like, oh, cool, whatever. We've got a decent backyard.
Is this really like free puppies, or did you give them like $25?
No, from my understanding, it was free. Like, it was a group of like 19, 20-year-olds that God knows how they got these dogs.
All right. Well, obviously one of their pets wasn't spayed or neutered, and they had a litter that they couldn't take care of.
How long did it take you to figure out that the dog does not like you?
30 minutes.
That's it.
Okay.
This dog came home, was like, F you, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I was laying on the couch, and she came in and said, hey, don't be mad. And I said, oh, good Lord, what? We walked out to the car, and there's this puppy. So I was like, it was one of those days anyway. So I was like, come on, bring it in. And she had already, pooped on the bedding that she bought out of Target that evening. And we sat her down and got out of the cage for about, 20, 25 minutes, and came over and, let business out on my leg. So I knew from the get-go.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know what I did to you. I don't know why you don't like me, but, I mean, you're pretty, but you're a pretty dog, but I don't know what I did to you. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't sound like you have to deal with the animal anymore. So.
Yeah, it's the good news.
That is the good news. Trying to think. Other than the one dog, I really don't think I've had any animal that just absolutely, it wasn't just personal towards me. It just had a problem with everything.
Yeah, when I was a kid, you had a lot of dogs. They weren't on a chain. They were just free roaming through the neighborhood, but they did not like anyone. I never felt singled out. And in the end, they would always attack and bite my brother anyway.
I mean, I used to babysit for one of my old coaches, right? Not very often, and I was kind of the last second person. But he had a lab, and it was a great dog. as soon as they left the house and like locked the door, that dog would just stand in front of me and growl and bark. And like we couldn't figure out if it was because the dog wasn't sure because like it's just me and the kids or whatever. But it got to the point where it was like you got like I was like I'll watch him. You got to put that dog somewhere else because it would freak out.
Yeah,
right. And it wouldn't attack. Right, it would just sit there and like I have to call him and be like, "Hey, Coach Prada." Your dog, and he's like, that dog loves. I don't know what's going on.
So he doesn't even believe
growling at me for half an hour, like it's just waiting to attack.
Reason we ask, what animal hates you? Dolphins. So cute, social, and intelligent, except when they're angry, lonely, and perhaps maybe a little
or
sexually
horny,
frustrated. That's exactly right. In which case, they can be dangerous, aggressive, and more than a little unfriendly toward humans. And such is the case of a stretch of the Japanese shoreline. According to the BBC, this shore area has been plagued by a series of attacks on swimmers believed to be the work of a lone bottlenose dolphin. Beginning in 2022, at least 25 different attacks have taken place, including 18 this year alone.
Damn.
Now, none were fatal. One swimmer suffered several broken ribs and bites that required stitches. Now, based on the sightings of one dolphin's dorsal fin, the equivalent of basically a fingerprint, experts believe they have a single culprit.
This one dolphin hates people.
It is reasonable to assume
James said
that it
probably
is the same individual, as the wounds on the tail fin are similar to those of the dolphin seen off the coast last year. It is rare for dolphins, which normally move in groups, to be alone for such a long time. They say some beaches have installed ultrasonic wave emitters as a deterrent and signs warning swimmers to get out of the water at the sight of the dolphin. The Times notes that others have lifeguards constantly scanning the waves for that certain dorsal fin. It is a good reminder that dolphins can be dangerous with the ability to not only bite, but drag you down into the ocean, which obviously could be life-threatening.
Going down one way or the other.
Theories abound. It's possible the dolphin was ostracized from its own community and may be seeking alternative companionship.
Maybe because he's a D.
Yeah. Or hormonal fluctuations, sexual frustration, or the desire to dominate might drive the dolphin to injuring the people it interacts with. Dolphin may also have had a bad experience with humans who can be prone to doing dumb things like attempting to ride the wild animal or poking their fingers in a blowhole. And dolphins, like elephants,
Does it say in a blowhole?
Yes, it does.
Are you serious?
Well,
sticking their fingers in a ew, man.
You don't bet that would stink?
That's what I'm saying. Like the last thing I want to do is stick my finger on many levels. Sticking my finger in a dolphin's blowhole is very, very low on
the
my
only
list
worst
of
thing that
priorities.
could stink worse is the kangaroo pouch, maybe.
All right, my game show. All right.
You stick your finger in there blind.
In the blowhole or the kangaroo pouch, you got to smell your finger, and you have to identify.
I definitely could, I think.
I would think it's got to be kind of fishy smelling in the dolphin's blowhole.
Yeah. But either way, yes, 18 attacks this year alone from this one single dolphin. More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. That's where an agent who is a realtor comes in to navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing your firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragececk.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragececk.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Cut on the categories today. We have the top 10 most delicious sodas and the NFL, the power rankings as we see them now before we even start the NFL season.
Yep.
So what they're saying is the 10 best teams right now, or should be the 10 best teams. But you know how that shakes out. And the NFL. That's coming up right after emails on our random question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Liquor and whore.
Liquor and whores. All right, Justin. What non-human thing do you talk to most often? What is the non-human thing you talk to most often?
Pets.
Oh,
your car.
my dog.
Your dog.
How many words do you think he really knows? So, treat. That's typically one that'll make a dog's ears perk up.
No, sit.
Walk.
Come here.
Go outside. You need to pee. I think there's certain triggers.
I used to have this conversation. My mom thinks dogs are a lot smarter than they are. I never use words to like try and excite my dogs. Like when I'd take him for a walk, and I'd go, "Hey, you want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk?" So she tried, saying, "You want to go for a walk?" He didn't. He's 5 years old, and he just now is starting to realize that's what it means.
I have to spell the word out if the dog's around. Because if I say, "Do you want to go out?" Even if I'm talking to my wife, like, "Do you want to go out?" The dog can be dead asleep. Is in front of the front door, tail wagging, staring at the leash.
I got a buddy. The dog will pick up the leash out of the basket and bring it to him to say, "Hey, I need to go out," or "I want to go out." Either way, I need to take a walk. And I'm just like, why have I never been able to get a dog that had this level of intelligence?
Well, I think my dog will let me know when she needs to go out. She walks up, she stands on the side of the couch, and she just stares at me. And I look at her, and then she looks at the door. And I mean,
there you go.
I understand.
There you go.
I appreciate she can communicate like that. So the dog I talk to a lot, but it's more, I'm talking to her in real time about whatever action she's doing, like relax, stop barking, you're embarrassing yourself. Where the cat, basically, I just go downstairs, and I love the cat, Rainbow Janet, but I just insult her. Hey, Fatty McFatterson. Hey, Double Rainbow. But I do talk to her, and she's very meow, meow, meow. And I'm like, I know she doesn't know what I'm saying, because if she knew, she'd be very offended. And it's terrible, because I realize, like, I never say anything nice to the cat. I'm talking sweet to her, but like, who's the fattest cat?
Here's the thing. The dogs understand the language. But I have found that cats are more vocal. So it's easier to have a communication or talk to a cat, even though they don't know what you're saying, but they will come up and start talking to you first. Oh, meow. You go, "Hey, man, what's happening?" Meow. Meow. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know, brings me some solace. I know they have no idea what I'm saying, but I do. I have found myself
chatting with
having conversations with cats that I've had a lot.
I talk to Rainbow a lot. I also appreciate how Rainbow chooses to communicate. There was a day that the dog had diarrhea on the stairs. I could not find it, but at the bottom of the stairs there's a dog gate. And the cat, she wasn't screaming up at me. She just kept shaking the gate. And I'm like, what the hell is the cat's problem? And as soon as I started going downstairs, I'm like, oh. And as soon as I looked at all the dog poop on the stairs, cat walked away.
Yeah, cats are
literally.
they're
clean this ass up and starting to reek.
Their mouths are dirty, but they're hygienic animals.
They're
they
very
clean
hygienic.
themselves all the time. They use the litter box. They don't want that crap around either.
No. But I think I talk to the computer the most. But it's more, because look, I'm just not tech savvy.
I think cats find that as a sign of aggression or stepping on their territory.
What's that?
If you poop or pee, that's why they spray.
That's why, it's absolutely why they spray. But yeah, as far as inanimate, it's got to be the computer. And it's not even so much the computer, it is different websites, right? So, God damn it, you have a paywall. Or, hey man, I just clicked on the story, my entire screen disappeared behind, I don't know, a JCPenney ad. But I'm outwardly vocalizing my frustration. My wife's just like, you got a lot of problems. I'm like, I do with the computer. Or if the printer, again, and we've discussed this, I'm printing in black and white. Do not tell me you're not going to do this because you need magenta. Magenta does not figure into this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I talk to myself all the time at home. I'm talking to me. I'm a person. I get that. But I mean, I'm talking out loud about, I should put this laundry in. But I don't just do it. I say it out loud.
You got to say it a couple times.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the weekend and you're hurting a little bit. Right. Miles, do you talk to your golf ball? Like, get in the hole.
Yes.
I was going to say, if I play cornhole, I'm always talking to myself in the bag.
In the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Come on,
That is not where I aimed you.
Come on, man.
But that's where you threw me.
One time. Reese, we asked, what non-human thing do you talk to most often? They say, be careful how you talk to Siri, or her robot offspring might want payback. A new poll asked people how polite they are when speaking to AI. Like, do you say please or thank you? Or do you just order Alexa around? 2 in 5 said they think it matters because someday our past behavior toward AI will be taken into account somehow. So be nice, or it might want to destroy you later. The good news is most people are generally nice to artificial intelligence, or at least not outright rude. Mm-hmm. Play KISW, like, hey, MFer.
They're probably right, man.
44% say they're polite and say things like please, thank you, and hello. Another 25% say they're more to the point but not rude. But here is an interesting story. A Nevada woman got a pleasant surprise when checking in on her cat while a maintenance man was working in her apartment. Raven Green, she logged onto her pet cam around 12:40 on Thursday afternoon to be greeted to the sight of one of her 8-year-old cats, Earl, engaged in a full conversation with a maintenance worker. Earl loves to talk. He's always been a chatty boy since I got him, Green said. He speaks to me every day, all the time, especially once he starts getting close to dinner time. Earl understands a few human words, with the cat appearing fully engaged with her new visitor, who, to his credit, is happy to have a conversation with the cat. Earl talks to visitors often when they come over. He also likes to give me a talking to when I go out of town for a few days, and demands food. They say cats have been known to understand human words, especially those coming from their owner. A feline behaviorist and author of Let's Talk About Cats said, I think it's safe to say cats understand human speech, not only by what outcome that speech portrays, but also the familiarity with certain tones and what the outcome of those are as well.
So not the words per se, but how your voice sounds when you say these things repetitively, like, he's about to scratch my head. He's about to feed, because they're right. With your pets, you tend to say the same things before anything that's regular. Hey, who wants to eat? I say that every
dinner
time with the cat.
Breakfast. Who wants some breakfast?
Right. Every time.
Earl's conversational skills are not just reserved for his owner and any human visitor. He and Elliot, my other cat, they both talk back and forth to me all the time to let me know that they would like dinner and then look at me and talk more. So the cats kind of have it planned.
All right. Makes sense. Let's see. Somebody here says, I just spoke to my water bottle that just spilled itself. They dropped an F-bomb. My friend renamed Alexa to bitch, so he says things like, hey, bitch, turn on KSW. Hey, bitch, volume up. Well, I mean, if that's the name. Right. One of my iPhones, I guess, what was the name of these? I don't know, whatever, but I got her to call me Puddin'. And it was awesome. So every time, no matter what I ask, yes, Puddin'. I'm like, yeah, we're starting to get along. Right. And somebody here says, cats understand a lot more than they're given credit for. They just choose to ignore us because we live in their world. I think you're 100%.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're like, I know what you're saying. I do not care. Hello, Bob. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
All right, Bob, welcome to the show. Random question. Let's see here.
I can't wait.
All right, Bob, it's,
make him wait. Make him wait.
Make him wait. He can't do it.
Hold on.
He might freak out.
We're waiting now. All right, Bob, what would you say is the food that is most likely to go bad right now in your refrigerator, or oftentimes more than not?
Oh, gosh, you go to the store and you get, like, strawberries for lunch and stuff like that, and it seems like in 2 days it's like they're already moldy. No kidding. It's like, really?
They do go out quick.
Blueberries is another one.
My daughter eats both of those things.
Got some in my fridge right now.
And if you don't eat them in like a day and a half, they'll be bad. I mean, my daughter, she absolutely devours them, but on the rare occasions she doesn't. Honestly, in 3 days, I'm like, I have to throw all of these out.
Right. Yep.
At least the animals eat good.
Okay. All right.
Is there anything processed that you buy that goes bad? Like if you buy jarred pasta sauce in my house, inevitably it's going to go bad. I will use it. I'm not going to go through a whole jar, but I use it for different things. My wife adamantly does not use jarred pasta sauce. She will make her own. So as a result, when I go in there and unscrew the jar, I'm like,
mold.
Yeah. And it's like, babe, come on, man. Either just make an S-ton of your sauce and we'll freeze it, or come on. But
I always try to have Philadelphia cream cheese or sour cream on hand.
Yeah.
Now, if you get the squeezable tubes that kind of go on the side of your door, they seem to last longer, but I always end up buying the tubs for whatever reason because they're smaller size.
Yeah.
Well, I think the squeezable one helps too, like for us, when you live alone, because you're just not going to use that much sour cream.
But also the whole top tank could be full of mold, and I wouldn't know it. I'd be squeezing from the bottom, and it might be okay, but I can't see it.
Right, so you don't know.
So it wigs me out. But yeah, I just threw away cream cheese and sour cream over the weekend. Went to use the sour cream. Same thing, man. There's a biological, situational level of about 1/4 inch of mold on top of the sour cream.
My cream cheese does not go bad because we eat bagels, like our lives depend on it. But yeah, the sour cream, like we'll buy it. And we'll make maybe 2 meals where it's involved, and then after that, the next time I open it up, it's like, okay, this living thing was not in here before.
Reason we asked what food is most likely to go bad in your fridge. Here is how long an open pack of hot dogs will last.
Ooh.
Since we're still somewhat in the grilling season.
An open pack of hot dogs.
We opened it, we're keeping it in the fridge.
We got a 3-day weekend coming up.
Okay, I've opened it.
But don't you always typically put it back in a sandwich baggie or something like that just because of the juices?
Well, they have the
and
real
things?
seal. I mean, I do. I'm going to guess a week.
I'll say 2 weeks. Who
2
knows?
weeks.
They're hot dogs.
As they say, it's important to know how long you'll have to finish that open pack of wieners before they start going bad. The truth is that you have about 1 week to finish off an open pack of hot dogs until they start to turn, unless the package is resealable, which back to the sandwich baggie thing. You should always remove the hot dogs from their original packing and then put them in something else.
Really?
So if you don't use the rest of the hot dogs, do not leave them in the original packaging. They say that's the most important step.
That's the most important thing, and in 55 years, I have not heard that until just now.
I'm with you. I feel like I always put the original bag in the Ziploc.
Yeah, I do the same thing. They say put them into something airtight, whether it's a container made of plastic or glass or a resealable plastic bag. You have 2 weeks to open a pack of hot dogs that have been stored in the refrigerator.
Okay.
So those are ones that have not been opened. And then a week to finish them. But you should not leave any hot dogs, opened or not, out on the counter for longer than
2 hours.
2 hours on the nose.
Oh, really?
If you're having a barbecue, don't take a pack of hot
dogs.
They at once 2 hours is on the counter, in the sink, whatever. This is because the temperature of perishables shouldn't rise above 40 degrees Fahrenheit. If it does, it enters the danger zone, which can increase the chances of bacteria growing immediately. And they will spread to your frankfurters pretty quick. Even if you've just opened a new package of hot dogs, stored them in the fridge correctly, perishables can be unpredictable. One of the sure signs that this has occurred is the smell that greets you when you open the container. There's a distinct odor to rotten meat. But they say you should toss them in the garbage. One thing they also say is this. If you can, cook the entire package of hot dogs. And the cooked hot dogs in the sandwich bags will last a little bit longer than if they are left uncooked.
Really?
Yes. Now, they're already cooked. You have to remember that.
Right. They're already cooked.
They're
You're
already
just kind of
cooked.
heating them up.
You just warmed them up. But either way, they say like all meats, hot dogs can develop a thin film of slime when they've gone bad. And this is different from the natural juices that they can produce. It's more viscous, almost like a syrup.
I've had that experience, yeah.
So they say that that should be completely avoided if at all possible. Here's some tips for your 3-day weekend coming up.
Good point. Hello, Christian. Welcome to the men's room.
What's up?
Hola.
Christian, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. What have you, at one point in time in your life, borrowed or taken home from an employer? What have you borrowed from one of your employers?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually used to work at a hotel.
All right.
And you would be surprised how many things you can take home from a hotel.
Okay. Like what?
And, of course, your phone's breaking up. Try that again.
Hello.
No, maybe not.
Hello.
Of course. He's about to give us the insight. I feel like almost everything at a hotel you could steal.
Oh,
Right, 'cause
I
there's
mean, the
all the-
hotel's one of the only few places where everyday people who don't steal soaps or towel.
Didn't they say like they wanted you to take their little shampoo bottles or something
They
like that?
used
Like,
to, but now they
if
have
you-
those little pumps, so it's kind of harder.
Right.
I mean,
It saves money.
More places do than not.
Because before, I think the deal was once you open it, they couldn't legally keep reusing. So they're like, yeah, take it with you. Little bars of soap. Man, when I was a kid, I think my brother and I had more soaps from Holiday Inn than any normal human being. For whatever reason, we always stayed at Holiday Inn because it was cheap. We always did those long-ass road trips. And, man, me and my brother, first thing we would do is, because it was embossed, and we thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And then my father would, like, walk into our little separate room, like, can you give me the goddamn soap? I'll take a shower. Like, oh, our bad.
I might have borrowed an umbrella from a hotel room not too long ago.
Borrowed what?
An umbrella.
Yeah, I'd take the umbrella. No
well,
problem
it
there.
seems like umbrella is one of those things that's kind of on the honor system.
It is.
They will have.
Did you take it back?
No. They will have a bucket of umbrellas down
So you
there.
didn't honor the system?
No.
No, he didn't.
No, I'm
But
just saying
they make it easy.
They put it out there for you. Like they're like, okay, you're an honorable guy. You're like, no, I'm not. No, it was just it was a really cool ass umbrella, and it was tucked up on the shelf in the closet, so you couldn't really see it. So the way I bet this is, There's no 6'6" house cleaner coming in here that
Right.
can look that high and know that bad boy's gone.
They're not checking every day.
So I went up and I saw it because I was putting I had a dirty clothes bag up there. I was trying to.
What made this umbrella so cool?
Oh, because it had a big Pebble Beach logo on it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And it was a really nice big fat golf umbrella. So I was like, you know what?
Nothing wrong with that.
I took.
Well, I mean, it's theft, but nothing wrong with that.
Well, yeah. I borrowed a microphone from a previous employer that was in a production studio in the back of a drawer that no one ever looked in.
I've taken, a VCR from Chi-Chi's, one of our mic flags.
Yeah, well, that's not really theft.
Oh, it was, because the boss was over at my house and just looks up, and all he said was, "Hey, thanks, man." I said, "Well, it's not like you're going to give it to me." He goes, "Well, you don't know if you don't ask." I'm like, "Well, I didn't have to ask because I stole it." Makes it much easier. So, yeah, I still got it. Actually, I tried to take a mic flag from each place we worked. I never got one from the Buzz, but I got a couple from Baltimore, and I got our older one from here.
Okay. All right. The reason we asked, what have you borrowed from an employee? There's a big problem at Tesla's factory in Germany. Some 65,000 have disappeared since production began 2 years ago at the Gigafactory Berlin, Tesla's first European factory. Per the plant manager, Andre, he raised the issue during a recent staff meeting. "I'm really tired of approving orders to buy more of these thermal coffee cups," he said. Given that the factory employs 12,000 workers, there's no way, he said, that they should have gone through 65,000 of them in the last 2 years. Statistically speaking, each of you has 5 IKEA coffee cups at home. He then threatened to eliminate cutlery from the break rooms if the plates and silverware continued to go missing. Though the threat doesn't appear to have been taken seriously, his whole speech on the matter was met with laughter, then applause. Indeed, the matter is considered the least of Tesla's concerns at that factory. Since production began, the plant has been accused of violating all kinds of different laws in Germany, health regulations, worker safety, and all that stuff. But, the coffee cups were free reign. So of the 12,000 employees, they have taken 65,000 coffee cups. Which is an astonishment.
Random.
Hello, Christian. Welcome back to the men's room.
Oh, wow. Hello.
Okay. All right, there we go.
So what were some of the things that you could steal from the hotel?
Yeah, so, you get all those, random decorations, these little, vases that are funny shapes, or, little wooden blocks. It's you get a bunch of extra, or they fall out of style, they fall out of vogue, and, they're just sitting in the closet gathering dust. So, yeah, I got to take a few of those home and decorate my house up a little bit.
All right. What about your pillows, your comforter, the sheets, the towels, the bath mat, the washcloth?
Yeah, to be honest, all the linens, the towels and washcloths, they're just not as good as, what you got at home. They get washed so much, especially ones on my property. They got bleached. They got hella bleached by our company. I didn't want any of that stuff, basically. Not good enough. Not terrible, but not good enough.
What about the pillows? It seems like most hotels, at least in my more recent experience, have kind of upped their pillow game.
That's true. My hotel probably sucked. It was a decent Marriott, but they were all the soft, plushy pillows, and those are not my jam.
Okay. I had a night in the Westin at one point in time, and they had this thing. At least they did. This is years ago. I typically do not stay in a Westin, but they have a Westin bed. All right.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a booklet of all the things that you can buy, I guess, as far as, just accessories in their room.
Yeah.
Whatever those might be. If it's a rug, or if it's a table, whatever.
They're pretty famous for those beds.
Yeah, they'll sell it. But that Westin bed, I wanted to take that thing home with me. It was the most comfortable mattress I'd ever slept on.
That's why you have the pamphlet to let you know.
The sheets were soft. The pillows were soft. The pillowcases were soft. I was just I almost went through that cat. Granted, that was maybe the most expensive bed set I'd ever seen put on sale anywhere.
That's why it's so comfortable.
That's why I did not buy it. Yeah. But I was just man, oh man, this is... now I know why the people go downstairs and go, can I buy that stuff?
Yeah.
Can I buy the mattress? Can I buy the sheets, the whole deal? The towels were for sale. If you wanted to buy those, you could buy the robe and their slippers, even though some people just take those.
You just take them.
Basically, every single thing that they had in there was fair game. But
have you taken a robe? I think I took a robe once. I did it by accident because I'm not a robe guy. But it ended up in my suitcase, and I'm like, so I don't know if it was me, the wife, or one of the kids. But I'm like, all right, we got to.
People are robe people, or they are not robe people. There is you are either one or you are not. And the numbers that are have to be 15%.
Man.
I mean, I'm with you. I only use a robe, honestly, if I'm in a hotel room and it's like, I'm being fancy. Sitting in the bed in my robe.
I know people who don't even use a towel.
Really?
They just get out of the shower and put the robe on. And then they walk around.
Right, yeah.
More women walk around and get ready to go or whatever. And just, they're wearing the sandals, the flip-flops, and they got the robe on. They're basically just drip drying in that damn thing. And I don't know. Just never was a robe person.
Nah.
Always reminded me of creepy people I knew who were older growing up.
Because a lot of them were wearing robes.
Yeah. Your guess is as good as mine. Cut up the categories today: delicious soda and the NFL in the preseason rankings. Plus, we've got your emails coming up next from the men's room at KISW.com.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids to a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing your firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragecheck.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's one thing falling in love with a house, and quite another navigating the world of negotiating, mortgage lenders, and finding the budget that works best for you. Guidance from an agent who's a Realtor can make all the difference, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
This is NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association. It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragecheck.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the men's room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Categories coming up for your guess as good as mine. We have the power rankings, even though the season hasn't started for the NFL. But usual suspects involved. And the other category is your favorite delicious soda. But first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Start praying the birthdays. It would be awesome if you guys could wish my very lovely girl, Evie, a wonderful happy birthday with the Dirty Germans talking about cleaning her pipes.
Yeah, I think you might have that backwards. I think you might want your lovely girlfriend, Evie, to clean your pipes instead, unless she means her tubes.
Like a tube steak?
I meant fallopian tubes, but yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, sometimes I just put the cotton balls, ends of it. Cleans the pipes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
Guys, since I'm the only one to listen to the show, I'd like to do a shout out to myself. 39 years around the sun. Would Coach Ted tell me how to enjoy the last year of being in my 30s and Thrill's choice of what to do? And then everyone talking about tacos all over themselves because that's what I'm having for dinner. Sincerely, that from Green Buck.
All right, 39 years old, tacos for dinner. First of all, I say you go exotic. Maybe get that grilled mahi-mahi tuna or taco. It'll be delicious. Other than that, man, it's last year in your 30s. Next year, everything's going to change. So focus on it for a whole year.
And my advice, man, look, bro, it's the last year, you're 39. Go out and get hammered. Yeah, maybe you got to work tomorrow, so what? To tell them yesterday was my birthday, I can still work when I'm morning drunk. Hell, I've done it for years.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, tacos.
All tacos are fantastic.
Tacos, I definitely prefer just not that ratty-ass ground beef taco. Man, actually do shredded chicken or something like that. And I prefer the soft shell.
Men's Room Chili and IPA, bitches. Shout out to Richard, pronounced Bacon Bits on his birthday. He might need Coach Ted's help on how to celebrate it since it is a Monday with no cake. Maybe some dad jokes for Miles. Stay beautiful, y'all. That from Bacon.
Whose birthday is it?
His buddy Richard, pronounced Bacon Bits.
All right, Bacon Bits. And it's a Monday, so it's kind of hard to go out and celebrate a birthday. But you might find a bar that has like hey, it's Monday, happy hour all day. Go in there, get a cheap burger, maybe some cheese curds.
Oh, cheese curds sounds good.
All right, dad jokes. Guys, how much room is needed for fungi to grow? How much room is needed for fungi to grow?
Not mushroom?
Well, as mushroom as possible.
Well done, Mike. Well done.
What's the difference between in-laws and outlaws? What is the difference between in-laws and outlaws?
Outlaws are wanted?
Outlaws are wanted.
Oh, wow.
Look out. What's the difference between Nevada, and Utah? The difference between Nevada and Utah.
Other than everything, I don't know.
Utah has more men. Hey, do you guys remember that chiropractic joke I told?
No.
About a week back? Oh, let's see here.
Yeah. Chiropractic joke.
Yeah. Pacholos, today is my dad's 59th birthday. His name is Matt. Gonna get a big old bong rip, a burp fart, and thrill shotgun gets. Maybe the dirty German's talking about him driving his pace car around the track at Evergreen Speedway in Monroe. Thanks, guys. That from Jada. Get.
Yeah, if you're going to drive a pace car around the racetrack at Evergreen in Monroe, my only advice is stay away from Z. Ted Smith.
Yeah. Well, since he's driving the car, he doesn't have to worry about people that don't go in fast enough to get pushed out of the way. Robin is racing.
Yeah. I raced this morning.
All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Bob. Let's get a contestant line for your guess is as good as mine right now. 206-803-ROCK. In the meantime, a couple of extra emails. This one says Uli Sausage and the Men's Room Beer Brought. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are a new vendor for Uli Sausage, and I was reaching out to see if you guys still do location shout-outs for places that now carry it. We are the produce stand located in Eatonville. We would absolutely love a shout-out if you guys are still doing that, and any consideration would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, guys, for your time. That from the fine folks, Danielle included, at the produce stand in Eatonville, Washington. Good to know that the sausage is there.
I think that's great, and I'll be honest with you. If I saw a produce stand, I would not think to stop there to buy meat.
Exactly, but the fact that they have it, that's
awesome.
Another note on the sausage, another update. I told you last week, but Petoskey's in Fremont still has the Men's Room Beer Brought on the menu. They also have the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven on tap. They have a traditional beer brought with grilled onions, kraut, deli spice brown mustard on a soft French roll. And then they do one Seattle style, cream cheese, grilled onions, some Mama Little hot cherry peppers if you want them on there.
Yes,
as well.
Yes,
so
I do.
Two different styles of the Men's Room Beer Brought on the menu. at Petoskey's in Fremont. A couple of Men's Room IPA locations for you.
I was at 2 yesterday, Miles. One, Smarty Pants at Burien, delicious sandwiches. They've had it on draft there for a while. And then The Point in Burien recently added it.
Oh, nice. Sweet.
On draft as well.
All right. All liquor and horrors, bitches. Me and the wife, who were, depending when we read this, up in beautiful Ocean Shores, Washington. The MB liquor store there, owned by my father-in-law's best friend, has Men's Room IPA because they think it's yummy.
Yeah.
If you need a refreshing drink while sitting on the beach, taking in the lovely view, they got you covered. Stay beautiful. That from Rainier and Kate from Port Orchard, Washington. P.S. Ted, they had live music at Galway Bay last night by a band out of Seattle called Stout Pounders.
I like the name.
Stout Pounders.
Galway Bay is a great little bar over there in Ocean Shores, man. That's the one that has the giant Guinness, door through.
Okay.
So if you go out back to, smoke or something, it's like you're walking through a giant Guinness.
Okay.
I dig that.
It's just, I don't know why, it makes it more exciting.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm going to go smoke again. Just don't open the door.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And a couple more. Men's Room IPA, Bellevue Total Wine. Hola, gentlemen. The Men's Room IPA currently stocked at Total Wine in Bellevue, and I made sure to snap up a six-pack. Picture included by request. My IPA-loving cousin, Dimitri, will be in town. I'm so excited to share some of the Divine Ambrosia with him as we hang out over the weekend. Rock on and hooray beer. That from Alex. Guys, Men's Room IPA at the Corner Pub in Burlington, Washington, in Skagit Valley. That from Matthew. And one more. This for the Mango Man. Could you please give a shout out to I found the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven in the bright yellow can at the Grocery Outlet on Harrison Avenue Northwest in Olympia, Washington. I want to say that all of the locations, pretty sure of the Grocery Outlet, does carry the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven.
I believe you're correct.
And one more programming note on that. If you are headed to Metallica, either Friday night or on Sunday night, we understand that the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven will be available for both shows in the big, bright yellow can. So you can get a little bit more there and enjoy a little Metallica. Okay, time for a little Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. It's an easy game to play. We pick from one of two categories, and from there, you must get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. Steve, who is our contestant? Ready to play Your Guess Is As Good As Mine.
Hello, Brock. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. Brock, welcome to the program. Okay, Brock, what are you going to go with? We have the NFL Power Rankings, the final rankings before the 2024 regular season. This is put together from the folks at NFLSpinZone.com. They say at long last, we're finally going to be able to start reacting to some actual games. NFL preseason has come to an end, which means we're merely days away from the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens kicking off the 2024 regular season in an epic matchup of 2 MVP quarterbacks. The NFL is impossible, but impossibly fun to predict. So they took a look at every final NFL power ranking before the start of the 2024 season and ranked every team from worst to best. So, Brock, that is category number 1. Next category for you is the 10 best soft drinks of all times, according to people who voted on such things on the internet here in the United States. So we have the United States' favorite soft drinks and the NFL power rankings. Brock, which category are you going to pick?
Let's go with the NFL Power Rankings.
All right, Brock. Here we go, man. NFL season is almost here. So, you know how the game is played. These are what they believe to be the top 10 NFL teams this year. Try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. What is your first guess? On Your Guess Is As Good As Mine.
Obviously, we'll have to go Kansas City since they keep going to the Super Bowl and winning.
Kansas City is number 1.
I just hit that one before Miles confirmed it.
We all know the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL until proven otherwise. The Chiefs are the most well-oiled machine in the NFL right now, thanks to their continuity at key positions. All right, you're 1 for 1, Brock. You know how the game's played.
Added weapons.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know.
I'm gonna stay with a team I hate because it's against the Seahawks, but I'm gonna go San Francisco.
Number 2 on the list, they say if Kyle Shanahan does not win a Super Bowl as an NFL head coach, it will be one of the biggest travesties in league history. What Shanahan does with personnel and scheming offensively is somewhat legendary. So there you go. Brock, you got set 1 and 2 are done. Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers.
All right, I'll do one for you guys. Let's go Baltimore.
Baltimore Ravens, number 4. As they say, Derrick Henry joining the Ravens team was one of the most fun moves of the entire NFL offseason. But is that going to be enough to push their team over the Kansas City-sized hump in the playoffs?
No, because we have no offensive line.
That is a fact.
Seriously, we got Derrick Henry, and we have no offensive line. Yay.
All right, Brock, you're 3 for 3 on the NFL Power Rankings and the final rankings before the 2024 regular season.
All right, I'm going to go because they blew it there at the end. I was actually rooting for them. Let's try the Lions.
Detroit Lions are number 3. Again, all the pieces are in place. It's going to come down to this team taking care of business in the regular season and not looking too far ahead. They're going to have more competition in their own division this year. Packers and Bears supposed to be good, and things can obviously go in any direction in the playoffs and in this division. You've got the top 4 so far. Kansas City, San Francisco, Detroit, and the Ravens, and no strikes against you, Brock.
All right, let's go Bengals.
Wow, number 8 on the list. They said there's a lot of talent on this roster, and if the Bengals stay healthy, they're going to be in the mix late into January.
Yay.
What were the Bengals?
8th on the list, yes.
All right, let's go because they're usually pretty good. How about Philadelphia?
Philadelphia Eagles. Number 9. Ooh. They say Philly's offensive skill talent is outrageous. And if Fangio can get that defense back into the top 16, at least the team is winning 11 or 12 games.
They just fell apart so bad last year.
They did.
I think they might miss the playoffs.
Really?
To me, that said something was more wrong in that locker room than just X's.
There is, but Philly has one advantage. They get to play in the NFC East, which is a pile of trash.
Correct.
Okay.
They don't have to be good. They just have to be better than the Cowboys, which is a joke. The Giants, which are a huge joke, and Washington.
Brock, you are correct. With the number 9 Philadelphia Eagles, number 8 Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens coming at 4, Lions at 3, San Francisco 2, and Kansas City 1. You have no strikes against you, Brock, so you got a clean slate to keep on guessing.
Well, now it's getting tough, though, because I'm sitting here looking at all these teams, and I'm going to say, how about Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers! Not in the top 10.
Now, if you're going for some of these outlier teams, this is just my opinion. I do not know. I think a lot of people are predicting big things for Houston.
Yeah.
Right? Texas started coming on. C.J. Stroud's going to have a year under his belt.
Buffalo's always contender, the Bills.
Yeah. I mean, just because of Josh Allen, I would put the Bills in the top 10.
I forgot. Yeah, for sure, Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo.
Buffalo?
No.
11. They are 11. They are 11.
Let's get serious here.
How about Miami?
Miami Dolphins, number 6 on the list.
All right.
They say the Miami Dolphins are great on paper. And even after losing Vic Fangio to the offseason, this team could contend with the Chiefs in the AFC. They can outscore anybody.
Yep.
But can they do it when it matters? According to the people who...
And can they do it when it's cold?
That was their big thing last year. They started slowing down.
You know who else really stacked up this offseason is trying to make a push is Chicago, the Bears.
They did put them top 10.
But their rookie cornerback, though.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be on a top 10 list just because they were so bad last year.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why they'll have a good year this year because their schedule is garbage. They're better than garbage, so I think they get killed next year, but this season they'll look good.
All right, Brock, only 2 teams remain on the list. You've gotten 8 out of the 10. You have 2 strikes against you.
I'm showing 3.
3. Sorry, you're 7. You're 7. You got 7. My bad.
I'll stay in our league. How about the Rams?
How about those Rams? Not the Rams. All right, that's okay. 7 out of 10 is not bad.
Right, it gets
These
to
are
the point.
preseason rankings.
All right, I'm going to guess Houston. There's a lot of buzz.
Houston Texans, number 5. Houston is loaded on both sides of the ball. And DeMeco Ryans has a lot of great pieces to work with on the defense. And adding Danielle Hunter to pair up with Will Anderson Jr., they say, off the edge is unfair. But, you know, Houston's always had a great defensive line.
Oh, dude, you know what we're forgetting is the Packers.
A lot of people on the Texas
last
line,
year with Jordan Love.
Okay.
They won like 13 games.
That is correct. Green Bay Packers, number 10. Yeah, they say they might be a little more of a high variance team in terms of their potential outcome, but they're talented on both sides of the ball, and they should be much better defensively under new coordinator Jeff Hafley that we saw last year from their other one, Joe Barry, they say.
You think they put the Cowboys in the top 10?
No, you know who I think they did put in the top 10? They've been talking about him all this last year, but he got injured. It's Aaron Rodgers and the doggone Jets.
It doesn't. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter if he's there or not. They're trap.
They're 12.
They're 12, okay.
But you're not wrong on your theory.
I mean, it could be the Cowboys.
I don't believe it, but I feel like they always get ranked higher than what they're actually worth.
Ted, are you guessing Cowboys?
Hey, I'm trying to think. Because Buffalo's 11.
You got New Orleans, you got Atlanta, you got Carolina, right? You got the Colts, you got the Titans, you got
Jacksonville possibly cracks the top 10.
Maybe. I feel like they've been cooking something in Jacksonville, but I just don't think it's good enough to be top 10 just yet. I think we're done in our division. If it's not the Rams, and it's
not going to be us. It's not going to be the Seahawks or the Cardinals.
Right.
No.
Like you were saying, the Vikings? No, they just lost their
Oh, you know what? Let's go with Falcons.
The Falcons.
You like the Falcons?
Yeah, because they have a good defense, and then they added 2 good quarterbacks. And I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Just dead wrong.
They did. All right, guys.
I'm going to guess.
Have we mentioned their name, Miles?
Yes, you have.
Yes, we have.
Dallas
Cowboys.
It's the Dallas Cowboys.
Number 7. Here are your NFL power rankings.
7?
Yes. Number 10, the Green Bay Packers. Philly comes in at 9. Cincy at 8. 7 is the Cowboys. Miami 6. Houston 5. Baltimore 4. Followed by Detroit Lions at 3. San Francisco at 2. And your number 1 preseason NFL ranked team, that would be the Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, it's all arbitrary, but that's not the worst list. I think I would probably switch Buffalo and Dallas.
I tend to think the same.
Otherwise, I mean, I might shift a few things around in the top 10, but I'd put Buffalo in there and take Dallas out.
Coming up, we'll drink a toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing your firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragecheck.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Drink better. Drink independent. Drink Somsation. Break free of the generic wines on the shelf or menu with Somsation's selection of 300-plus limited production wines and tastings. Explore Somsation.com today.
Cheers.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, couple of minutes. We'll drink a toast for the shot of the day. We do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check out Mike Hogg and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. A new study found that your zip code may determine your dementia diagnosis.
This is weird.
It's basically just certain places do a little bit more thorough of a job screening for it.
Oh, is that what it comes out? So it's not like the environment
in the
you live
water
in
or anything like that?
Exactly. No, it has everything to do with the types of doctors that you have there and how in-depth their screening is going to be or how obvious your symptoms are. So, yeah, that's why I'm not working on it.
It would be kind of funny if it had something to do with the sports teams.
Oh, dementia.
Or like any bad something, you know what I mean? Like
you a Panthers fan? Yeah, you got dementia, man.
Yeah, I feel like Mariners fans, like if somebody's like, I got it because I'm a Mariners fan, it's been a tough whole time.
Right. It's been a tough 40 years.
Yeah, right.
That's a good point, man. I think like Jets fans, because they're convinced Aaron Rodgers is going to pull some miracle out of his backside. He's not, but dementia.
Browns fans,
Giants fans,
Raiders fans.
Wow.
I mean, they had their moment, but here's the thing about dementia. So the Giants, they had a good run, right? Healthy brains all through New York City. In the last 10 years or so, dementia.
Yeah. At least they've won recently.
They have.
I was going to say, the Browns fans.
Still fighting. Lions fans.
Those people have been suffering a long time.
And the Lions got so close.
Ted's right. At least the Giants fans have something to sit back on and be appreciative.
You can say it is.
Yeah, they have two in this century.
Right. The Lions fans, they're making a serious run, and their fans are still disappointed. It's like, when's our time, man?
I mean, dude.
Come on.
If it's not now, I do not know when.
No kidding. No kid. Put money on it now.
I've been a football fan for 47 years. They've always been bad.
Yep. They got to fire now, man.
Oh, yeah.
The market for potatoes is set to have some serious growth over the next 5 years.
People love potatoes.
Potatoes are coming back.
Yeah, hey, nothing wrong with that.
Do they ever go out?
Yeah.
What's going to be the difference?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, hash
Have we
browns,
been in like
tater tots, French fries, potato chips, scallop potato. I mean, my God, it's not like Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Have we been in like a potato recession?
Not that I was aware of.
Right.
I guess we have been.
When's the last time you bought potatoes, man?
Probably 2 or 3 days ago.
Damn it.
Honest to God, yeah.
Did you get that big 5-pound sack?
No, it's more like a 2-pound sack, the little red bees, I guess they're.
Nice. I like the red ones.
Yeah.
I always made a mistake of getting the big sack, but I never went through them.
Yeah, and then they start growing stuff on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember last time I bought just potatoes.
Oh, really?
Yes, I feel like I buy other potato products.
Absolutely.
I get you.
But yeah.
You ever just bought the actual spud? Or it's been a while since you just bought the...
I feel like if I buy a potato, I'm going to buy 2 or 3 sweet potatoes or yams.
There you go.
Okay.
I suppose. But, I don't know. I wouldn't buy regular potatoes to make mashed potatoes. I'd probably just buy some of the refrigerated section.
I'll tell you what, that air fryer, air fryer is a lifesaver on a baked potato and a sweet potato.
100%.
As far as just the time involved to get it done. It's like a half hour compared to an hour.
You can also make your own JoJo's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, baby.
Now I want potato.
I know, right?
I want potato all the time.
I love potato.
I love potato.
Experts say the TikTok trend of taking a quote-unquote fart walk after dinner is actually very beneficial to your health.
Well, it's good to take a walk anytime you eat dinner.
100%.
Yeah.
You basically,
that was one of the good things about being a dog owner.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, regardless of the dogs and their behavior, just the idea of getting out no matter what, rain, snow, whatever.
Yeah, you got
to go out there and do it, man.
Force yourself to get out and go.
It's good. When you get back, you're glad you did it.
Right. And there's been, we tended to walk the dog a little bit on the earlier side. The wife does it before I get home. But from time to time, things just get backed up and we end up walking the dog after dinner. And that feels the best when I get home because now things have had an opportunity to move, to process a little bit. We've got the blood flowing a little bit.
And I got nothing else on my agenda.
And if she does it, by the time you get home, she's got a note from the neighbor.
That's right. You're no kidding, dude. I still think about that. Jackass.
That is so crazy.
To the young lady.
Yeah.
Walking her dog.
I love you.
Jesus.
Yeah, I had to get out of there fast. I was about to do something bad. Thrill, what day is it, my man?
Today would be Monday.
You're right, it is National Dog Day. We were just talking about them. And in fact, because today is about the dogs and we're celebrating the dogs, I decided to throw you guys a little bit of information on which ones are going to really take advantage of National Dog Day.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 high-maintenance dog breeds and tips on how to manage them. The Puggle, part pug-nosed boxer, part beagle, all After my dad croaked, I was blessed with his Puggle. Pugsley, original, I know. I got the decrepit, old man get off my lawn version of this monster. He ate any poop he could wrap his deformed mouth around. He once tried eating what looked like a roll of toilet paper off the street. It got stuck in his throat, and the stubborn geriatric fought me every step of the way as I dislodged it from his poop mouth. As a breed, I highly recommend.
Well, there you go. So these are the high maintenance.
Go get one.
Yeah, right. Have at it. So, real quick before I get started here, if you yourself have a high maintenance dog, they do say here's a few tips to manage your high maintenance dog. For one thing, ensure your dog's coat stays clean and free from mats with regular brushing, bathing, and trimming. You should also know how often to groom your dog. They say provide a balanced diet tailored to your dog's breed and size to keep them healthy and strong. Offer interactive chews to reduce boredom and destructive chewing. Make sure that your dog gets enough exercise and mental stimulation through walks, play sessions, and training. And one thing that I've learned here in the recent years is that a dog can go on a 20-minute walk and not get very far, but as long as they're sniffing the ground, that's
They're in our happy place.
Right, that's aerobic exercise to them. They're actually really working doing that. Schedule routine checkups with your veterinarian to ensure your dog's health and well-being. Provide various training sessions such as potty training, leash training, crate training to manage your high-maintenance dog. And then finally, help your high-maintenance dog develop good behavior and coping skills through early socialization and positive reinforcement training techniques.
Just know if you take your dog in, it's like taking your car to the dealership. They're going to find something wrong.
That's right.
So if it's a once-a-year checkup, if you can afford that, but more than likely, the dog's going to need to go to the vet for something else in the course of that time.
Oh, yeah.
So get your dog looked at then, because it's going to cost you $1,000 or so anyway.
Yes. Some of the honorable mentions for the most high-maintenance dog breeds. Bottom of the list is Yorkshire Terrier, the Siberian Husky, the Shih Tzu.
The Husky, too, the problem is they won't stop talking.
No. They're absolutely talkative, loud, yappy dogs.
Yeah, I mean, it's big, but I always thought they were pretty good, friendly dogs. I know they'd be high maintenance.
Yeah, if you get two of them together, it's like a kid's sleepover. It's just like, keep it down.
The Shetland Sheepdog, and then the Pulik is also on the list of honorable mentions. It's the one that looks like a mop that
Okay,
started walking away.
That's a groomer bill right there.
Oh, that is a fact. Yeah, they got to see a groomer.
I feel like I only ever see that dog in the Westminster
dog show.
Yeah. You don't really see them on the streets too much.
So the number 10...
It's too fancy to be on the street.
Gets his little feet all dirty. The number 10 high-maintenance dog breed, Poodles.
Yep.
They're known for their elegant appearance and high intelligence. Their dense, curly coat requires frequent grooming to prevent tangles and maintain their distinctive appearance. They have high energy levels and require plenty of mental stimulation and physical exercise.
Do they look elegant or do they look stupid? We just associate it with people with money. Because to me, poodles look ridiculous. Fair. And that's not to say they're good dog, bad dog. I just look at them and I'm like, I don't ever want a dog that looks like that.
The Portuguese water dog, or Porties, have a distinctive curly or wavy coat that is hypoallergenic and water resistant. Their coat requires regular grooming to prevent tangles and maintain its water repellent properties. It looks like your kind of standard dog.
Yeah. All right.
Right? You know what I mean?
That's like, you've seen that dog. Somebody has one.
Right.
It looks like a cute Wilford Brimley.
Yes.
Wilford Brimley cute.
Yes. Picture him being cute, and there you have your dog.
The Old English Sheepdog, which honestly, if it's a working breed of any kind, it's going to be a high-maintenance dog. Old English Sheepdogs have shaggy appearance and a friendly, gentle nature that makes them beloved family pets. They have a dense, shaggy coat that requires high grooming frequency. Old English Sheepdogs are large, active dogs that require plenty of exercise and mental stimulation to prevent boredom and ensure that they remain in good shape.
They look like they'd smell bad.
Is that dog famous for a movie? That breed?
The Old English Sheepdog?
It was popular
like
for
a Disney
Bugs
movie?
Bunny.
All right.
Because you'd always have to lift his hair to see what the coyote was doing with the sheep.
Morning, Ralph.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
It might be. Right. Sit on the cliff, lift up his hair so you can see what the hell's going on, then drop his hair back over his face.
Again, these are the high-maintenance dog breeds. The one that's always on Miles' mind, the Cocker Spaniel. They have long, floppy ears and a lively...
Spaniel.
Yeah. They have long, floppy ears and a lively personality that endears them to many dog lovers. They require regular cleaning of the ears to prevent infections and maintain ear health.
You'll say, don't they get... Yeah, they get ear problems.
Mm-hmm. They're active and social dogs that require plenty of exercise and mental stimulation to prevent boredom and ensure their well-being. They're just cute dogs.
They're cute. But, God, they just look like they smell.
Yeah, I can see it mostly in the ears, but yeah, I can understand that one. They probably
sometimes those dogs can be a little bit mean.
Protective, I think, is how they...
Okay,
there you go. Super protective.
Again, these are the high-maintenance dog breeds. One that wasn't meant to be in the care of people, the Chow Chow.
Yeah, that's not...
They have a distinctive lion-like mane and a blue-black tongue, giving them a unique appearance. Their dense double coat requires thorough brushing to prevent matting and tangling. Chow Chows are independent and less friendly, requiring early socialization and training to ensure they develop into well-rounded companions, no pun intended.
And apparently, they're tasty.
They taste fantastic.
I like that. Basically, like, it's a good dog, but if you don't get it meeting other dogs early, it's going to lose its ass.
Right.
It'll absolutely go crazy, nuts on your hump.
And you know what? I'm a lover of dogs. I feel like the Chow, I'm never all that stoked to see.
Really?
Yeah. They're just little ugly dogs, man.
You think they're ugly?
Yeah.
See, I like me a Chow.
Big puff balls.
They're very puff.
I'm with you.
But they're like grungy puff balls.
It's stupid
grungy puff
balls. There's a handful of breeds that I'm not stoked to see.
I like it sounds like you act like outwardly get angry.
I do.
Like, Jesus Christ, what is that thing doing here
I'm sorry.
at the dog park?
I know that people love them, but pugs. I don't like pugs.
Pugs crack me up because they sound like they're constantly suffocating.
They are. That's the thing. They are.
And they always, for whatever reason, every pug I look at, I think of Danny DeVito. I feel like if Danny DeVito were a dog, he'd look like a pug. I do not understand the connection. Personally, I like Danny DeVito, but a pug is a four-legged Danny DeVito.
Now, don't get me wrong.
Who's suffocating.
Dogs are sweet. I love dogs, and I do love all dogs. And it's not that I'm ew against your dog. It just, I don't want a pug.
Yeah, I would not want one, but they do make me smile. Although we did find out that one of the more popular zombie video games, we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
He said, oh, yeah, man, all the breathing and all that snarling and crap. He goes, I own a pug. We just put a microphone in front of my pug. He wasn't doing anything. The pug's just breathing. And that translates to zombies.
High maintenance dog breeds the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. That's your rich man dog to me.
It looks like a little a-hole.
They have a distinctive silky coat and expressive large eyes that give them a sweet and gentle appearance. Their long silky coat requires frequent brushing and grooming to prevent tangles and mats. Next up, the Border Collie. Highly intelligent and energetic herding dogs known for their exceptional work ethic and agility. Their medium-length double coat requires regular brushing to remove loose fur and prevent mats, especially during shedding season. And they're psychopaths.
Yeah, I mean, look, you put it in there already, right? Like kind of another working dog.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. So it's just tough. They have to put out a lot of energy.
Right. They need constant stimulation. They need to work.
Right, like greyhounds are big, but I guess after a certain age, they're kind of like, all right, I'm done running super fast.
Right.
Which is why
they
you
retire. Yeah, they basically retire, and they're like super chill and everything. But like herding, like my friends have one of those Australian Shepherds, and he's not a bad dog. He just
must herd.
He just doesn't chill ever.
They're kind of like war vets.
I mean, that's what my dog is.
Seen too much, man, with PTSD.
Never chills or chills. Yeah, my son will like bring 4 of his friends over, and the dog goes where they are, just to make sure they're all in one place.
That's right,
all the time,
making sure their herd's okay.
So they try to like play hide and go seek. I'm like, guys, it's not going to work because the dog seeks out. Once you hide, the dog stands there and stares you down.
Number 3 of the high maintenance dog breeds, Ted. This is all you, baby. The Bichon Frise. That's your
which one?
Small little rich guy dog.
Yeah,
little fluffy dog. Oh yeah.
Why's he such a pain?
They have a fluffy white coat that is soft to the touch and gives them a charming appearance. Their dense curly coat requires consistent grooming to prevent tangles and keep them looking their best. They also require attention and may suffer from separation anxiety if left alone for extended periods.
But they look like a dog that's going to have separation anxiety.
They do.
They really do.
They do. Number 2.
You're right. Like he already looks yappy and annoying.
Right.
So it's like not shocked when I leave for work. He's yappy and annoying.
Even if the neighbor complains, like, you ever seen my dog? Doesn't he look like that?
Yeah, he looks like a problem.
Right. The Australian Shepherd.
Yep.
Kind of on the same tip as the Border Collie. They have striking multicolored coats and are known for their intelligence and herding instincts. Their medium-length, weather-resistant coat demands regular grooming to remove loose fur, and they are highly intelligent and energetic dogs that need plenty of physical and mental exercise to prevent boredom and destructive behaviors.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. That's what Buster is. But I love Buster.
Hell yeah.
But he just can't help himself.
Right.
No.
And then whenever you're sitting down, he's always like around the edge, especially if like their kids walk away. Then he's got to go kind of herd them back.
Oh, yeah. They are 100% on all the time.
And then, you can play with this giant ball. Buster will chase that thing for hours.
Oh, yeah. Never gets enough.
No.
Never gets enough. But then the number 1 high maintenance dog breed you're going to have to keep an eye on because I know that everybody in here wants one. The Afghan Hound. They're renowned for their stunning flowing coats and majestic appearance. Their long silky coat requires careful grooming to prevent tangles and mats.
Oh, look at that guy. Looks like he was in the Bee Gees.
It really does.
You can tell by the way I do my
right. This is pre-hair metal. This is just like 70s rocker.
It's Tommy Shaw, man.
That dog always looks like
Greg Allman. Yeah.
It always looks a little sad to me.
It does.
Like, look at his face. It's kind of like, ooh.
Those best days are behind it, no matter what.
Yeah, right.
And everything about that, it looks like you would talk like this, man.
Oh, it does. That looks like a Tommy
Shaw. About the little bro. No, I've never done drugs in my life, man.
A woman in New York made a change of career that landed her an extra $10,000 a year, and I'll tell you what she's doing now at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant online for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Have we made it to drinking time?
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association. It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragececk.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragececk.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, we're just what the country needs.
These deals are working hard to save you money. From August 28th through September 3rd, save 15% off Balin stock tanks, $200 off Black Diamond log splitters, and find big discounts on shoes for the family.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, we're just what the country needs.
Make the most of your Labor Day weekend with Coastal.
It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing your firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragececk.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragececk.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, we're just what the country needs.
These deals are working hard to save you money. From August 28th through September 3rd, save 15% off Balin stock tanks, $200 off Black Diamond log splitters, and find big discounts on shoes for the family.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, we're just what the country needs.
Make the most of your Labor Day weekend with Coastal.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
What time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast the Urban Air Adventure Park in Snellville, Georgia. Now, sadly, the popular trampoline park closed its doors forever earlier this month. The owner apparently defaulted on the lease and had to shut it down. Anyway, former employees, they picked up their final paychecks a few weeks ago, and sadly, coincidentally, and ironically, the former employees of a trampoline park say that their final checks bounced.
Yeah, I read that today. Like, you got to be kidding.
Not even a joke. There's no other way to put it, but they're like, yeah, our checks.
It's fun to go on a birthday party. I've watched them before. There is somewhat of an element of danger.
Well, sure.
Those parks, man, you can launch yourself in those. I went to a birthday party in Columbia, where near your mom lived at, and it looks fun, but 2 kids pulled out within probably a half an hour.
Really?
Just needed to sit on the side. Someone kicked them accidentally, or they got hit in the head by a railing, or whatever the deal was. I was like, it looks like a good time. I did not get on there because they actually did have an adult time.
When do you get on, man?
So they kind of do it as a pool, like the birthday party's going on, but then you get like 10 minutes where the kids get off the mat, and the adults that want to give it a try go on there. I'm like, no. I know that this is how I injure myself, and I have to tell everybody.
That's why we have insurance.
That's right.
So we can get on a trampoline.
Yeah.
So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Yes, Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
Oh, I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Matt. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. All right, Matt, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. You have a choice of one of 3 stories today. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? Hit Me with Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon. And finally, Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Let's go Animalize This.
All right, we go to Tasmania, where a Tasmanian woman is accused of a sex act with a live animal. She appeared in court for the first time. 58-year-old Catherine June. She appeared at the Hobart Magistrates Court, where she asked for an adjournment without a plea. So she faces 3 charges under the Classifications Enforcement Act, including possession of the bestiality product. Let's see. Police allege the bestiality product was a video depicting sexual activity between her and the animal. She's also been charged with 2 counts of making or reproducing a bestiality product during the same period. Now, she was granted an adjournment until October. Good for her. The question is, what animal is she accused of having sex with and videotaping herself have sex with it? Was it a koala bear? Was it a kangaroo? Was it a trout? Or was it a dog? Koala bear, kangaroo, trout, or dog?
Did you say trout?
What do you...
Trout.
Like the fish.
He did say trout.
Or the baseball player, but yes.
Man, I'm going to go kangaroo.
Kangaroo. All right, let's go kangaroo.
Kangaroo?
What was the last option?
A dog.
Dog. A dingo.
Huh. I mean, a trout seems tough. No, I'll go koala bear.
Koala bear for 10.
Koala.
Drop bear.
That's how you get chlamydia.
3 charges of bestiality. Was it a koala bear, a kangaroo, a trout, or a dog? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association. It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragececk.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragececk.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Better health isn't always about the big things. Sometimes it's a nudge from a friend, or a head nod from a fellow jogger, or even a smile from across the breakfast table when you've decided to pass on the bacon. It's the little things that lead to better health, and Regence is here as a partner, opening doors to the care you need, no matter the size, because it all adds up to something big, a healthier you. Regence Blue Shield. Together we health.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories analyze this on Profile This. We go to Tasmania, where a Tasmanian woman was charged with bestiality. 3 different charges as she videoed it all.
Yeah.
Question is, what was the animal involved in the bestiality? Was it a koala bear, a kangaroo, a trout, or a dog?
And Matt, that is a question that we posed to you. Let us start with Ted Smith. What, the old drop bear, the koala, the chlamydia
bear.
No, it was not chlamydia bear.
All right.
And Matt, you agree with Miles Montgomery that both of you went with the old kangaroo. Because let's face it, sexy animal. However, that's not the case. Believe it or not, she had sex with a trout. A brown trout, if you care.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't. Look, it is what it is. Is there a better answer, Mike?
No.
Right. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, my God, a fish. It could have been a kangaroo. Does that make it better?
Mm-hmm. And she's a big Zeppelin fan.
Oh, there you go. I'm the original. Yeah.
Now for all TV news, all of the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Let's see. It was a good weekend, especially, I know myself, I was fired up Saturday morning. College game day was on. You have actual college football games that people were, that matter.
Yep.
So you had Florida State and Georgia Tech over in Ireland. And also, one of the best games I've watched in a while.
What field goal at the end, right? Georgia Tech wins?
Yeah, it was just a good game. I'd gotten up right at like 8:55 to see kind of the end of game day.
Yeah.
And then at halftime, ran over to the barber shop, got a little beard trim, and then I came back. I was like, I'll just chill on my couch, kind of watch the end of this game. And it was awesome.
One thing about college football is, you get that ball, you get that key drive at the end of the game, and you get your ass down there, and you cannot depend on the kicker most of the time. So just to make that big of a kick in that kind of a situation, that was huge.
Yeah, and listen, I get it. A lot of people do not watch college football because they do make mistakes, right? There was like a fumble. I mean, Florida State came out and looked like they were just going to dominate them. That didn't happen. But there's fumble, there's interception. So I get people's point of like, that's why I don't watch college ball. Like for me, I'm like, that's why I watch college ball. It seems like there's always a chance for something. Obviously, you have much better teams than other. Oh, excuse me. But also, with college football this year, you'll have 12 teams in the playoff.
Right, which is cool.
So Florida State, that's bad to lose. But, I know Miles will test, like the old saying kind of in college football was always, if you're going to lose a game, lose it early.
Real early.
Right.
Real early.
Like voters would forget, like other teams get better, they get worse. Who knows? I mean, look, it's also just college football, so Georgia Tech might end up sucking, and Florida State might still be very, very good. That'll yet to be seen. But yeah, pretty cool. Fun to watch that. We also had some, the Seahawks had their final preseason game.
It looked good.
They did, especially in that first quarter when they had the starters. I kind of bounced around. I ended up watching a little football yesterday just because it was Sunday and it felt nice.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say the Mariners were doing some stuff, but speaking of baseball, also you had the Little League World Series, which came down to the last inning, and Florida pulled it out.
Nice. My wife
pulled it out.
Uh-oh.
My bad.
Double check. That's my bad.
Yeah, well, what? Should be right there.
Will they bunt Alexander with the runner at second base, Norton? He gets it down. Oh, it's perfect. It's right there. He's going to win the Little League World Series championship. Chinese Taipei in shock It was fielded and thrown to first base. Nobody was there. And for the first time, Florida are Little League World Series champions. 2-1 is the final.
And that was in extra innings, I believe, too. Which also seems odd that Florida has never won the Little League World Series.
So was that a shot to the gap?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just good for them.
Right.
Little League World Series is also, like I said, in between the 2 weeks, they've added in that Major League Baseball game, so the kids can hang out there with them. And then remember, they have like the American teams in one bracket, all the international teams, and then they get together to figure out who actually wins that thing.
And as far as being that age, you're really not. You're maybe at the beginning of puberty. Most people aren't.
They're like 12.
Yeah, but there's no other sport where that age of a child is playing where it means so much to them. In so many different ways. You could have a good basketball team and all that, but
you're
it's
not nationally televised.
It's not Williamsport, right? It's not on ESPN. So when you watch even when you watch earlier rounds, these kids are just devastated when they lose. I mean, you can see it because when you're 12 years old, like this is the biggest thing that you've ever done in your life. You've worked your ass off to get there and all these things, and you really do see the human emotion of how much that means to them. Either if they win or lose, it's just like they lose their minds.
Yeah, like when I was 12, our CYO team won our league, but we went to Hogs on the Hill and got barbecue.
Right.
We didn't know about it.
Awesome. Nobody else knew about it unless you played for St. Joseph's Little League. So you're right, Miles. That is kind of different for those kids. And listen, there's big AAU tournaments for hoops, even some of the football stuff, but none of them get the same exposure and everything that Little League World Series does.
From around the world.
Yeah, and Williamsport. Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, when I was a kid, obviously there's always the team from Kirkland from out here in 93. But when I was a kid, it just, honestly, Taiwan used to just kick the crap out of the United States. It seemed like Taiwan won.
Did you ever go physically to a Little League World Series?
No. We've driven through Williamsport.
And if it ain't World Series time, it ain't nothing there.
What was your signal back to the hotel room? You got one hotel like an Old Miss. Like, are they equipped for that? I guess you could stay around the area.
Well, a lot of times, too, it's like I coached a Babe Ruth All-Star team, and those kids were 14. So, we advanced, won the state of Maryland, and then we were at a giant regional up in the upstate New York. But, the coaches stayed in one hotel, but the kids had host families.
Oh, okay.
So, families would take in, 3 or 4 kids from the same team.
That's pretty good. Seriously, man, this is not a part of the country that is awash in hotel rooms. That said, pretty much everyone on my wife's side of the family has been to the Little League World Series because they live in Philly or they live about an hour and a half north where her parents are. So we stopped at my sister-in-law's house. We're coming back from Delaware. We're on the way to the Philly airport. We stopped at her place, and they're watching Little League World Series. And it shows all the kids sliding down the hill in the boxes.
Yeah.
So my son's like, man, that looks like it'd be so much fun. All of his cousins are like, oh, dude, we've done it 5 times. We drive because they live close enough. They drive home, but he's like, "Oh yeah, as a kid, man." He's like, "We didn't care about the game. We just got in the boxes and slid down."
Yeah, we never. I mean, I remember driving by it and being impressed as a kid. I think we might even stop to take a picture. But we never went to the games there. But also, me and my brother played so much baseball when we were kids.
Yeah,
there was only about a 2-week window in August where we could go on vacation without missing games or anything. So that was always part of it. I mean, hell, look, my buddy Bernie to this day, he still coaches baseball. All 3 of his sons play baseball. I can tell you right now, probably this week or last week was the only time he will take vacation. Basically the entire year outside around Christmas.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have games. None of the kids have games or practices or anything. And that's just part of growing up, I would say like that if you're in a baseball family. Obviously, we're getting towards the end of summer. I know kids will be back at school. I want to say some of them started this week. I think the bulk of them start next week.
Oh, yeah, Tuesday.
My nieces started today in Pittsburgh. Got a picture of them all dressed up for school. Oh, my God, they look like adults.
That's the main reason I know is because when I signed into Facebook this morning, I was like, oh, man, there's a lot of kids going back to school already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They also get out earlier on the East Coast just because the summer starts quicker. So
my kids are not excited.
Yeah. Yeah, well, your kids are kind of old enough, too, now, where they kind of get it.
Yeah, little kids, so they're real excited to go back. Once you actually kind of have, a grade attached to it, it's like, yeah.
It's a little early for my taste, but I know people love Halloween. So, let's say you're getting into it, September's around the corner, you want to watch some spooky movies, you go, all right, Ted, how about a list of spooky movies? I'll do you one better. How about some spooky movies that are family friendly?
Yeah. All right. See how many of these I've seen.
All right. Most of the classics I think we've all seen. 15th on the list, it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Seen it.
True horror movie, yeah.
Coco.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I don't think I've seen Coco.
That's a good movie.
Right, it's not bad. It's just when it came out, my kids were still young enough that I had to see it more than once.
What's the premise?
I don't remember. Is that the one where he finds his dead grandfather?
For the most part, yeah. So
that is a really bad synopsis.
I believe it's one of the rare Pixar movies with singing in it, but it is musical based, and it is it's a kid who basically goes into the purgatory, if you will,
kind of the afterlife without necessarily dying.
Right. It's a Dia de los Muertos themed deal where legacies are very much a thing, and you want to be remembered, and there's somebody who's in danger of basically being forgotten. So there's a long
when you're
line
forgotten,
there,
you cease to exist. Because when he goes to the afterlife, they're still partying there.
Right.
It's not like some awful morose place, but they're only around as long as their family remembers.
And he gets there by accident because he grabbed a guitar that wasn't his. It kind of pulled him over to the other side. Now it's just trying to get him back. So,
right.
It's a cute movie, though. It's a good movie.
Next on the list, Hubie Halloween.
Hubie?
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Hubie Halloween.
Either do I. Feels like an Adam Sandler thing. Just because the alliteration in the name. Hubie.
It is. It is an Adam Sandler movie. Good.
All right, maybe I just knew that in my head.
That's wild.
Yeah, all right. Well, obviously none of us have seen it. Not Miles, you haven't seen Hubie Halloween?
I have not.
Let's see here. It's October 31st in Salem, Massachusetts, and a town's eccentric, devoted community volunteer and the good-natured object of his fellow citizens' innocence and meanest pranks find himself in the midst of a real investigation for a real murder. Okay.
There's some of the best family-friendly spooky movies. Get you in the Halloween spirit. Let's see what else is on there. Goosebumps from 2015.
I literally just wrote down Goosebumps. I've seen that movie a couple thousand times. My kids love the first one. The second one wasn't so great, but they love the first one.
Second one sucked.
And Jack
We're not watching that crap, Dad.
Should have left the first one alone.
Because they love Jack Black now as a direct result of him being in Goosebumps.
Do they like School of Rock?
They haven't seen that one, but they're excited about what the hell. We were watching Jumanji, the remade one.
There you go. Yep.
And he plays a woman kind of.
All right.
Either way, my kids, as soon as they see Jack Black,
Super Mario, he plays Bowser.
Monster House, 2006.
Monster House.
I remember when that one came out. I still didn't watch it. I was starting to age out of the quote unquote kid movies at that point, so I didn't see that one.
I got to Google this one.
Corpse Bride, 2005.
Same smenario. That's a Tim Burton movie.
Yep.
All right.
I have seen Monster House. Yes.
It's got your Tim Burton guy too. It's got Johnny Depp. It's got Helena Bonham Carter.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't do a movie without those two in it.
No.
Monsters Inc. from 2001.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Great.
I was going to say, Monsters Inc. is one of those ones that's just good enough that I think everybody can watch it.
And I've seen it so many times.
It's a long movie.
Still doesn't get old.
Yeah.
It's great.
Let's see. The Nightmare Before Christmas in 1993.
Seen that?
That's a pretty classic one. Again, Tim Burton.
That might be your quintessential Halloween movie. I feel like if you like Halloween movies, you like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Like family friendly. I would still think like Halloween would be like probably the top Halloween movie.
Also family friendly if your family's weird.
Yeah.
Well, Halloween's another one of those movies. If you go back, like I don't like scary movies. I do enjoy Halloween, and I will watch part of it around Halloween. But again, it is pretty damn slow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For a lot of that, it's just the music and the setups that kind of go, ooh, it's spooky.
That's the fun of a lot of those horror movies. Is just kind of the slow burn,
build
to
up,
get you sucked into it. Yeah.
What you don't see.
Coraline.
Coraline.
That one freaked out a lot of people.
Of course, my daughter loves it.
The animation,
that is her speed.
That's when the animation is a little Tim Burton-ish.
Yes.
As far as the simplicity of
that
the
claymation style. Yeah. It might even be Tim Burton.
These are some family friendly spooky movies. Ghostbusters, the original from '84,
still holds up.
Ghostbusters is enough. I will say, I thought Ghostbusters 2 was spookier with Zeus or whatever.
Yeah,
like that one. That one kind of scared me.
Oh, Zool,
yeah. Hotel Transylvania,
seen
2012.
That's a cute movie.
Yeah, I just haven't seen that one. I've seen the second one. I'm completely lost.
It's fine. Again, it's just one of those movies I saw a lot, but I did appreciate one good line. there's a human kid who cannot believe that the guy's talking to Adam Sandler's character is a vampire. So he hits him with all these, like, does sunlight kill you? He's like, yes. He's like, how about a stake through the heart? Vampire's like, who does that not kill? I'm like, he's like, yeah, not just vampires, dude. He's like, it's a wood stake through your heart. Like, who does that not kill?
It's an easy way to burn through an hour and a half.
It is. Pretty good movie.
I mean, look, I've seen the second one. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I just was a little lost because I didn't understand what the kids are doing with the vampires. Then I was like, oh.
It's his in-laws, man.
Right. Right.
Come on,
it
dummy.
makes perfect sense. I'm the dumbass. Halloween Town from 1998.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween Town.
I remember that one.
That was a Disney Channel movie, and it got really popular really quick. They made a second one, which was it was okay. I still don't think it held up to the first one, but that one was a staple each and every year. They played it 5-6 times on Disney Channel when I was a kid, and we watched it every time.
All right, some family-friendly Halloween movies. The Addams Family from 1991. There's also the 2019 animated version.
I
don't particularly enjoy those, but they're fine. It's just not for me.
Second on the list, I'm kind of surprised they said this is family-friendly. Beetlejuice.
It is. We watched it with the kids, and it's...
All right. I mean, I guess it came out in 88. So, I mean, I went to the theater to see it, so I could only been 9 or 10.
I say the movie's like an hour and a half, 45 minutes, but he's only got 17 minutes.
17 minutes.
Right.
It doesn't really show up until the end.
Exactly.
And he did such a great performance that they actually changed the name of the movie. It was not supposed to be Beetlejuice, but then he stole the show, so he changed the name of the movie.
And then number one on the list from 93, Hocus Pocus.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Three Witches?
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorites as far as like when I was growing up as a kid. I loved that movie.
I think I've never seen the whole movie. I've seen probably about half. My daughter was younger. She's watching it with her mom. I just wanted to cut through the living room, and my daughter like, watch it with us. And it's one of those things like, sure. And it was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine. I haven't watched it again. It was fine.
Who doesn't want to watch Bette Midler?
Yeah, I don't know why she bugs me. I do not know why that woman bugs me.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
She doesn't bug me. I don't know what it is about Bette Midler. She seems like a decent human being. All right? Most of what she does is not for me. For some reason, when I see her, I'm just like, Bette.
I think Bette Midler is one of those people that, like, her fans make her seem more annoying than she is.
You know what? You might be right. You might be right.
That's fair.
Yeah, and she was kind of like, I don't know, besides, she is super famous for movies and
music.
As I say, in Broadway and stuff, but she, like, kind of gave off the air of, like, one of the first divas, if you will.
Yeah, that's a fair call.
And then I think she's such a gay icon that it was like, it's like you could never say anything bad about Bette Midler if you were like talking to your gay buddies.
No, I'm not. I don't like wind beneath my wings.
Well, that's the other issue is that I had to listen to that goddamn song so much because of my mom. It just makes you hate it with a passion.
That's a lot of it's not to play your ass.
Like, you're right. Now that I think about it, I don't have a real reason to dislike Bette Midler.
I've never read a bad thing about her, but I hate her guts, and it's unfair. But my first on-air radio gig, Wind Beneath My Wings, was massive. And on a 6-hour overnight shift, I swear to God, I played it 8 times.
Oh, God.
Like more than once an hour.
I don't care what the song is. You're tired of it by then.
And I was tired of it the first time I heard it. Yeah.
It's very hard.
It's not her fault, but God damn, I do not like her.
There's a couple songs we play that we got to listen to every day that I can still deal with. But you're right, Bette Midler, that's awful. It's putting my head in a vice, dude. All right.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
All right, parents, it's back to school time, and I've got a secret for you. There's a drama-free way to make vitamins part of your kids' morning routine. Lil Critters Gummy Vitamins. You see, my kids think they're just eating fun, delicious gummy bears, but little do they know, they're getting essential nutrients for their health and development.
Mom, we know they're vitamins.
As I was saying, kids absolutely love, and apparently know, these are vitamins. Lil Critters is the pediatrician-recommended kids multivitamin gummy brand, and the yummy way to start the school year.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee, if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code STYLE at checkout. That's harrys.com, code STYLE. Enjoy.
The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Teacher quits her job and becomes a Hooters girl. Then makes a grand in just 2 days. Meanwhile, a Florida man is arrested again, and the number of times will truly amaze. Homeowners are upset their house won't be pelted by balls. A 5-year-old gets behind the wheel of Lamborghini, and then he hauls. And a Navy sergeant asks a private son, is that your penis? It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
At the top story, we go to New York, where a young woman made a career change. She was a teacher in the state, living as a single mom, paycheck to paycheck, and over-encumbered by a massive amount of stress. Knowing that at age 32, there had to be something better out there for her, so she attempted to re-educate herself and become a software engineer, spending 6 months learning and applying to different jobs, but landing none. That's when she talked with her sister about working for Hooters. She went in and applied and was hired on the spot, telling reporters that she was making $1,000 twice a month working as a teacher, and now makes $1,000 in just 2 days working at Hooters.
Damn.
She said it was never in her plans, and she does hope to pursue entrepreneurship in the future, but says that she enjoys working for the restaurant.
Hey, man, if you like your job and you're making more money, good on you.
At the end of the day, isn't that what's important?
Yes.
You know, obviously plan for the future, be ready for the future, you know, look ahead and see what's coming at you and then know how to act accordingly. However, enjoying the moment is just as important.
Yes, it is.
So, good for her. If she's making her money, go get that bag. In other news, we go to Florida, where local authorities have captured a repeat offender. Their man had been running an elaborate scheme in which he would go to one of the many Lowe's locations, switching barcodes on certain products, and use the self-checkout to leave the store with essentially stolen goods, eventually selling them on the secondary market for profit. By the time store employees and authorities caught up to him, he had managed to defraud the store out of around $4,500 over 10 separate incidents. He was arrested, but it was far from the first time, as since 1985, the man has been in prison 11 times, and this arrest marks the 75th time that he's been to jail.
Wow. 75 times. Come on.
At that point, what are we doing?
You're not listening.
Right.
You're not listening.
The rehabilitation system is not rehabilitating you. You obviously do not feel any kind of remorse for what you've done, as you're just going to keep on doing it. And I would think that our reaction would be to up the consequences of his actions until eventually when we realize that the consequences ain't working.
Yeah, I think when you've been arrested 75 times, like, nothing we say means anything to you.
Right.
You've chosen not to coexist with other people the way we act.
Right. And it's a simple ask. Don't do what you're doing.
Right. Any one of the 75 different things.
For real. Bad news for our Navy sailors. Due to supply chain issues, the branch has run out of the pants that are used for the Navy working uniform.
That's good news, baby.
This is the uniform that is worn by the Navy off base and can be worn on the job or out in public.
You can sail the 7 seas.
Their stock of pants has reached a critical low of 13% that they say are being saved for new recruits. But the issues are mounting because these uniforms are more susceptible to wear and need to be replaced more frequently. This, of course, has led to memery on the internet, with many users comparing them to Donald Duck in his own sailor suit.
Well, sure.
Sans pants.
That's kind of funny.
Right? It's not bad.
Yeah, we're used to that look. Don't worry about it.
Also, it's just not great because it's the Navy.
Right.
I feel like people are going to have jokes.
Of course they're gonna have jokes.
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad, man. That just sucks. Not to mention, it's kind of your universal wear from what I'm reading here.
Yeah.
You know, that I can wear on the base, off the base, working or not, and now I don't have any more pants.
Because it seems like and I know this is supply chain demands or whatever, but like, it just seems like to get pants for the military, somebody's going to step up.
Right.
I would think. I'm sure it's some fat, ridiculous contract.
Well, and who's the supplier that all of a sudden can't figure out making these pants?
Yeah, I mean, like, Levi's doesn't have a shortage. Maybe work with them, man.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I got to assume that working with the military and providing for the military, that's got to be a good chunk of change for whatever company.
That's what I mean. You got to get overpaid. You always want that contract.
Right.
You can get a government contract.
It's a good, steady paycheck, man.
But you got to get them pants.
Right.
Pants are massive.
They need the pants.
Very important.
They need the drawers. Over to the UK, where a couple homeowners are a little more than upset about an addition to their property. They had a house built in close proximity to a golf course and were informed that there'd be a structure built meant to protect the property from errant golf balls. After the structure was made, they were livid about the sheer size of the net and its less than attractive look. They've lodged a complaint with the powers that be, who gave them $700 in compensation for their property value drop, but they don't feel as though that's enough.
Do you want them to move the net?
Right. That's kind of where I was. You built a place next to a golf course. Right. They're doing you kind of a service by putting up this net so that it doesn't destroy your home, because not everybody's a great golfer.
Right.
I understand it's an eyesore. You're next to a golf course.
Right. Yeah, it ruined our views. What view do you think's going to...
Exactly.
That's the view you're going to get.
And it's a net.
Right.
You can see through it.
It's ruining our property value. Guess what? The next guy that's buying a place next to a golf course probably okay with a net in between you and the balls.
And they paid to put it up.
They did.
Typically, that's the homeowner's responsibility.
Right. And you got a bonus $700 out of it.
Yes.
And you chose to live next to a golf course.
Right.
It all circles back to that.
Pretty easy stuff.
Up.
I know you'll see photo or videos of people being real pissy, and it's like, dude, you chose to live next to a golf course.
Right.
Did you think everybody everybody doesn't start out good with a handicap?
Right.
Have you seen the guy that owns the course, the house on the course? And when someone hits a ball in his yard, out back, he goes and lays down and acts like he's knocked out, puts the ball right beside his head.
Spills a drink right next to him.
Someone kind of walks up real slow. Some people peep in.
I do love that one.
Some people just take off.
And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth,
Thankfully, there's good news.
we go to the lovely world of the internet, where a young man by the name of Zane is living his dream. He was making headlines a couple of years ago for a video of his making the rounds as he did some donuts in a Ferrari at a young age. But he's back once again with a whole new video. The video shows the young man getting into a modified Lamborghini and taking it to speeds of 194 miles an hour.
That is insane.
Before celebrating by burning out the tires and doing a few more donuts, all at the young age of 5 years old.
I would be terrified for my child.
5.
He's got talent.
He did require a booster seat and extensions for the pedals, but the rest was all him. And you're right, he absolutely has talent. He is burning that thing out and doing donuts in those cars like I could not, and I wouldn't trust myself to do.
I wouldn't do it with my kid.
No.
Even if I'm like, well, they're rich. I'm like, I understand that, but I'm still not going to retrofit
tell
my
me that's
Ferrari.
his top speed. I mean,
Right.
No way he's hit 200, right?
Right.
I mean, he had to work his way to that level of car.
Like
And then people who own those cars and go 25 miles an hour, spin them out in the street and hit a telephone pole.
Like thinking about it now, my nephew is the age that he was when he was doing donuts in a Ferrari.
Right.
Now, I believe my nephew could do that because he doesn't know any better and he's just flooring it in the doggone car.
Right.
This kid knows what he's doing.
That is
he
nuts.
Drives like he's the reincarnation of some great racer who's died or something like that, man. This kid knows what he's doing.
Which is terrifying.
It is. He's going to be a great racer one day, though.
I hope so.
Men's Room Sports. Over the weekend, the Seattle Mariners hosted the San Francisco Giants, and all eyes were on new manager, former Mariners catcher Dan the Man Wilson. In his opening series as manager, he was able to lead the boys to a series win 2-1. And now we set our sights on Tampa Bay as the Rays come to town for a 3-game series to end the homestand. First game is tonight at 6:40 over on Route. Bryce Miller getting the start on the mound. Good work, boys. If you were with us at Mike's Chili Parlor, you might have seen the end of the Seattle Sounders game where they managed to defeat Minnesota in a 3-2 score. Their next game will be the U.S. Open Cup semifinals on Wednesday against LAFC. And then finally, your Seattle Seahawks finished up preseason in style against the Cleveland Browns. showing real promise with their new coaching staff led by Mike McDonald. They've got the week off to establish the roster before their week 1 matchup against the Denver Broncos. As far as your weather, we got some clouds blowing in tonight with some light showers through the night, bringing temperatures down to about 57. That'll pave the way for tomorrow, where we can expect cloudy skies early on and temperatures reading a high of 76. Going to be a nice day. That's it for headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Hey, certainly appreciate it. With Metallica coming to town for 2 shows, we get into the concert world tomorrow with Sit and Spin.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association. It's Gun Storage Check Week and National Suicide Prevention Month. Securely storing firearms can help prevent suicide. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to deter unwanted access. Learn more at gunstoragececk.org and enter to win a gun safe. That's gunstoragececk.org. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.